Sending that one forward, finds Carter Lowe through the neutral zone. Lowe waits, takes the shot, kicks aside, rebound, scores! Cole Bodwin!
Welcome to the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium for Game 2 of the OHL Championship Series between the Barrie Colts and the Kitchener Rangers. I'm your host, Mike Poirier, joined alongside Gene Pereira and Josh McCann. The Barrie Colts coming off a tough loss in game number 1 here at the Aud, a 5-2 final. A game where the Barrie Colts tied at 2 after 40 minutes, but you almost wonder if maybe the injury to Joe Salandra may have affected the impact of the game.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Mike.
I just noticed it.
Well, yeah, you got to wonder. I mean, obviously it happened right near the end of the second period. It was a tough loss. I mean, you know, this is a close team, and there's no doubt watching Joe Salandra. I thought he was having a really good game, had a couple of great chances, and just an unfortunate injury tangling up with Cameron Reed there just inside the Barrie blue line. And the Colts were going back on a 2-on-1. And him and Cameron Reed, and I don't think, you know, there's been any intention. It's just one of those freak plays that he landed on his right foot, his right leg, and now, you know, unfortunately, Salandra looks like he's out for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, ended up flying home this morning to get an extra opinion, MRI, as it's a lower body injury. Understand it's a fibula issue, so Salandra out, which means next man up mentality here for the Barrie Colts. Teague Vader, the defenseman, will play on the fourth line. He's centering that line, and we saw there at the end of the regular season, he scored his first career goal on the road against the Peterborough Petes. He scored in Game 1 against the Niagara Ice Dogs, so he does have that offensive capability.
Well, we'll see. You know, it depends how the Colts kind of use him. You know, is he an extra defenseman back there that, you know, when he got some penalties, he can log some minutes back there. You know, you wonder how much, you know, are the Colts kind of double their centers, you know, ice time a bit there, just run them through the four lines, the three centers. But, you know, again, look, I thought Teague Vader, he played near the end of the season. He really took another step in his game, and you can see the confidence. And he had a big goal there early in the playoffs for him. And, you know, it'll be nice to see him back in the lineup tonight. And, you know, look, he's got offensive abilities. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And it'll be interesting to see just how the Colts deploy him here tonight.
And obviously now that Joe Salandra not in the lineup, that second line spot being filled by Eamon Edgar, and we saw that in game number 1. Dylan Smoskowitz right away putting Edgar on that second line, and I felt he fit in quite nicely there. We've been seeing more of Edgar of late. He's got that offensive instinct. The points not there yet, but you know that he's on the verge of a breakout.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we've seen the Colts move him up and down the lineup, right, with other injuries and stuff, and at times he's played on the power play, which really talks about the faith that the coaching staff has in him, the ability to play a bigger role. And, you know, Eamon's got that offensive ability. I mean, they're really high on him here in the future. And I thought his game, again, you know, you get some games under you, get stronger and stronger, the confidence. And really for a young player like that, there's natural offensive abilities. It's about, you know, learning to play without the puck in a bit, getting him comfortable in those situations. And I think Eamon, you know, talking to Dylan Smoskowitz, he said he had all the confidence in the young forward that he could step up and fill that role nicely. And, you know, he said, look, he goes, you know, it's a comfort for a coach, again, to know that, you know, it's a tough loss losing Joe Salandra, but when you can slide a guy like Edgar in then with those natural abilities, it's a nice luxury for a coach.
And we already have the chat up and running, and we want to shout out to Richard for the super chat of $10 saying, hello, gents. I thought Dylan's apology to the reporters was nothing short of classy. Have a snack on me today. And we knew going into that press conference, Dylan Smoskowitz was going to have to answer some questions in regards to what happened at the end of Game 7 in Brantford. And just like Richard was saying, I think Dylan handled it quite well there.
Oh, he did. I mean, look, you know, you wonder when does this become a not story, right? The league fined him and so on. But, you know, I think what really impressed me about Dylan is, you know, obviously Josh Sweetland and, you know, Colin Jennings from the league, they were there that night, and to kind of make that personal and apologize to them. Anybody that knows Dylan Smoskowitz knows the kind of character that he has, and so on. And he admits he made a mistake, and that's one you know, you live and learn, and it's not going to make again. But it really impressed me with him to having already apologized, but again doing it right in front of them and making sure that they know. And you can bet it was a sincere apology.
Yeah, so a great job there, and Thank you, Richard, for pointing that out with the Super Chat. But while we have a moment, we're going to go to our Coach's Corner presented by Mariposa School of Skating. Catching up with head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and coming off a tough loss there, game number 1, a 5-2 final. You guys were in it, 2-2 going to that third period. How did you feel about that game?
I felt good about parts of it. It's not easy coming into a new opponent. You don't really understand how stuck in you get and how comfortable you get playing the same opponent when you play them 7 times. And that's all you talk about, that's all you think about. And then all of a sudden you get 24 hours off and you get a new opponent there. It's a little bit of a challenge. So the fact that we had a good start, I was proud of that. I think obviously, our game kind of got derailed after the injury. I know that the injury to Joe, along with Cole Baudouin, will be something that this group rallies around. But to see one of your brothers, you saw the guys on one knee there when he got hurt. When he gets taken off in a stretcher and you can see the pain in his face, that's hard. And when you really care and love someone that much and it's happening to them, it's really mentally tough.
Yeah, because I was just going to say there, when everyone was out on the ice, I saw you were out on the ice as well. It was just, you could tell you guys were like a band of brothers out there.
It's been like that all year, and you always hear in different sports these teams that make it all the way to the finals. It's a special group, it's a tight group, but I can't say enough how special this group is, and that's why without Cole, without Joe, I still have all the belief in the world in this group because of how tight they are. I think that can just carry you through to as far as you need to go.
So tonight then, Teague Vader put on the 4th line as a center. When was the last time he played center?
I don't know. I don't know if he's ever played center, but what I told Teague this morning is imagine you get an offensive rush as a defenseman. You know what to do. You're an offensive-minded D. And everywhere else, you're pretty much a defenseman. You think about the responsibility of a centerman. You want to win one-on-one battles. You want to be responsible in your own end. You want to box guys out. You want to be low center support. It's not that different.
So you talked about how you're trying to get a different mindset coming into this series. So now that you've played a game against Kitchener, what are you going to do maybe differently here to prepare for this Rangers team tonight?
There are a lot of adjustments we made over the last day. Again, it's more of an understanding about what Kitchener wants to do and what they're going to allow us to do. So you kind of take a little bit of both. Okay, here's where they're susceptible. That's where you want to hit them the hardest. Here's where they're really good. Here's where we have to sharpen up. So our guys understand the game plan, and I have full confidence in the group to go out and get it done.
So that was our Mariposa School of Skating Coach's Corner with head coach Dylan Smoskowitz, and great job there by Dylan Smoskowitz at the end as the players were setting up their warm-up music just as we were wrapping up the interview. But this is a Barrie Colts team that has been in this position before. In the Eastern Conference Final against the Brantford Bulldogs, they lost that opening game. It was a game they tied, and then in the final minutes, Jake O'Brien scored that game winner. But the Colts able to bounce back in game number 2. And for the coaching staff, they know what this team's capable of, and will look for a repeat performance to game number 2 in Brantford.
Yeah, when you look at it, I talked to Dylan Smoskowitz after. He said, look, he goes, we've been here before, right? We know the situation. We've lost game 1 on the road in Brantford, and the guys got through it. And again, that's what it is. I think it's that familiarity, this group's ability to deal with any kind of adversity and get back up. And that'll be another key here. Another stiff test against this Kitchener team. They lost, they were able to win a game 2 in Brantford, and they're hoping for that same repeat here in Kitchener.
So we already touched on the Barrie Colts lineup changes. So no Cole Baudouin, no Joe Salandra. So Teague Vader in the lineup, playing on that 4th line, while Eamon Edgar moves up to the 2nd line for Barrie Colts. But Kitchener also making some adjustments here tonight. Lachar, he comes out. He was on the 4th line in game number 1. And in comes Avery Ansys. And at this point in the series, of course, being cross-conference opponents, you're not too familiar with one another. So it's interesting just to see how both teams address this series. Now that you had that one game under your belt, and now you try to adjust and navigate how to have the matchup here in this OHL final.
Yeah, I think, both coaches said that after the post-game conference that, there are going to be some adjustments always, right? I mean, these are 2 opponents that, they played 2 times, but not totally familiar with one another, and they'll make adjustments as the series goes along. And as well, we saw Ellis up on that top line, with O'Reilly and Humphreys, and now you got Edwards moving in there, and Ellis going back on the line with Ellis, Hayden Ellis as the center. So, I think some adjustments for Kitchener, but they finished strong, and they've been a good third period team. And, I talked to Dylan Smoskowitz, and there's, a question about concern about this team having any kind of fatigue. And, he doesn't think so. He said, look, he goes, that's something that we've worked with all season. Trust me, you go down there after a game, and it doesn't matter when of the season, you see all these guys riding bikes. So they're built for this, and these kind of grinds every second night. No doubt it's tough, but conditioning wise, I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and it's Cole Baudouin who kind of leads by example. Obviously not in the lineup due to injury, but just that his focus on fitness. He is probably one of the biggest fitness people I have ever met. But you also have Jonah McCormick, who's very similar, and it's kind of rubbing off on all the guys. So that's where it's like, when you talk about the fatigue, I don't know if that's a factor, just how much, like you were mentioning, this team is, they're built for this, and they've told us that.
Yeah, these guys, it's another different level. I mean, and you could tell, like, there's no coincidence that you see a lot of these guys, whether it's nutrition, what they put into their bodies, the conditioning, they know the situations, they're built for this. And the Colts have done a really good job all season. I mean, this isn't starting now, it didn't start halfway through the year. It started from day one, training camp. And even before that, these guys nowadays, it's different than the old days, right? Everybody kind of used to go out and kind of party and then show up at camp and try to get in shape. It's completely different. These guys all come in shape, and then they continue to work on their conditioning through the season.
Well, the players just about ready to come on the ice for game number 2 of this best of 7 series, and it's for the Barrie Colts. They can take confidence in the fact that in the start of that hockey game, their forecheck was paying off. There was a couple of times there where the Kitchener Rangers almost didn't know how to handle the forecheck at times. There was a couple of turnovers right up the middle, and even William Schneid had that great opportunity. Just Kirsch shut the door there. So this is a Colts team that if they can get off to that hot start, kind of like we saw in game number 1, they will position themselves in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, Crombie had a great chance. Pridham had a big turnover. I thought the first 40 minutes from Barrie were pretty good. I mean, you look at him, talking to Dylan Smoskus, one thing he wants to see is them just be a little bit more aggressive up front, put a little bit more pressure. But, it was a pretty solid 40 minutes, and I think Barrie was establishing their game. And, the third period, and again, you wonder, I mean, after that Salandra injury a bit there, and Kitchener gets that goal quickly in that third period, and then a few minutes after that, able to add another one. So, you wonder about that. But again, I think for Barrie, the guys got some confidence that they can play. Certainly not play with these guys, but kind of establish their game. And but I expect them to see them push a little bit more up front to get some more offense going.
Well, a win here tonight would go a long way for the Barrie Colts, trying to get the split on the road here at the Odd in Kitchener before returning home to a packed house Sunday evening. That's going to be a 6 p.m. puck drop, so mark that on your calendars so you get ready for that one. But the players are on the ice. They're getting ready for the national anthems. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we will have the first period of game number 2 of the OHL final between the Barrie Colts and the Kitchener Rangers. are just about ready to go for the first period of play between the Barrie Colts and the Kitchener Rangers. Game number 2 of the OHL final. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at our starting goaltenders. Presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities. New homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm.
We'll start with the visiting Barrie Colts. Ben Rebick gets to start, 6'3", 204-pound Milton native. He's making his 18th start of these playoffs, 12-5 record, 2.59 goals against average, 922 save percentage. Rebick, 27 saves in that opening game 5-2 loss on Wednesday night. And for the Kitchener Rangers, Kristen Kirch gets back in the net, the 6'4", 193-pound Swiss native. He's making his 16th playoff start of the playoffs, 13-2 record, 2.36 goals against average, 896 save percentage. He made 25 saves in that 5-2 opening game win.
It's already some fireworks before the game even gets underway. Evan Passmore crossing paths with Jared Woolley, as those two had to be separated quickly before puck drop. But let's get to it quick. Our referees tonight, Chad Ingalls and Mac Nickel. And on the lines, Dan Kovacic and Justin Noble. So we are just about ready to go here. The crowd alive and well at the odd. It is a packed house here. And we'll see how this one goes. Face-off won by the Rangers, and they're going to quickly send this one back into the Barrie zone. Rebick leaving it in the corner as the Rangers put the pressure behind the net. Humphreys puts that one off Passmore, and the Colts have possession. Mason Zabeski reaches center ice. He'll send this one across. After it is Hemming. Hemming gets a stick on it, takes the hit from Woolley. Puck's in the corner. Rangers collect it, and they're going to skate it out. At center, it's Sam O'Reilly. O'Reilly to the net, backhand, stopped by Rebick. Puck goes behind the Colts net, picked up by Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison's going to settle things down as both teams will make a line change. Bit of a exciting start to this one, the physical play. And we'll see if that continues throughout game number 2. Aitchison still behind his own net. Now he's going to try that long pass. Edgar got a stick on it, so no icing. Campbell will be the first one on it for the Rangers. Crombie takes him into the boards. Edgar trying to play it. Gardner back to Von Richter. Von Richter with the shot blocked in front. Campbell got a stick on it. Edgar keeps it in the zone. Crombie tried to regain possession, but Pridham's going to get it out. Von Richter dumps it in for Barrie. Campbell, he'll take it into his own zone. Up to Pridham. Pridham sends that one across, collecting it for the Rangers. On the far side, that's going to be sent in. Pridham there to pick it up. Takes a double hit from Gardner and Hanser. Puck's loose. After it is Reed. Reed takes the shot, and that's going to be deflected wide of the net. Puck's kept in at the blue line by Bilecki. Colts after it behind their own net. There's Eamon Edgar again along the boards. Bilecki keeps it in. Up ahead to Romano. His shot stopped by Rebick. Already 2 shots on goal here for the Rangers as we're approaching the 2-minute mark of the first. Hanser facing pressure, gives it up to Von Richter, who's going to skate it back behind his own net. Parker Von Richter, backhand pass to Hanser. Justin Hanser, long pass. Crombie got a stick on it, so no icing. Puck goes deep. McNeil back to collect it. He scored 2 goals in game 1 for Kitchener. Puck's turned over, and that shot blocked in front. Rangers pounce on it. They're going to get this one down the ice. Icing indicated, and we're going to get the whistle.
Early, the both team line matching continues there. Kayshawn Aitchison, he's already played a few minutes here in this first period, but a lot of life in that first period, and there's a big crash in the Kitchener end. I think there's about 4 or 5 players were down. It looked like a collision on the Highway 400.
Well, I think Hemming may have been in the middle of it with 2 Rangers on top. We're going to get a face-off now to the right of Kirsch. Wilmot steps in to take the draw here against O'Reilly. Face-off won by the Colts. Puck's bouncing. Rangers, though, pick it up, and they're going to send it down ice. That was Sherratt. Got under it. Icing is waved off. Emerton sends it behind the net. Kayshawn Aitchison is there for Barrie. He's going to skate this one forward. Aitchison near side. Hemming tried to get a stick on it, and now it's going to be an icing call against the Colts. As you kind of wonder if we're still going to get a bit of that chess match to start off this game like we did in game number 1.
Yeah, I think it continues. And obviously, you know, the last line change for Kitchener, that'll be an advantage here as we try to get those right line combinations. But again, I thought Barrie had a good start. I mean, even though they gave up the first goal in that game on Wednesday night, They're a pretty good first period and followed by a solid second period.
Rangers moving around the perimeter. There's the shot. Hrebeck gets the glove on it. As that's already 3 shots on goal here for the Rangers with 17:24 still to play in this first period.
Again, we saw Kitchener and really trying to work that, get the puck to the point there and get some bodies in front. And it worked successfully, in that game 1 for them. Able to get some long shots through. Andrew McNeil getting a couple of goals. I expect that to continue here tonight as they try to get some more traffic in front of Hrebeck.
There's a shot from the point from the Rangers, deflected wide. Kitchener with it again. There's the shot, stop, rebound. And Hrebeck able to cover it up as Kitchener right now has Barrie hemmed in their own zone, winning that faceoff and getting a quick chance.
Win the draw. Again, Barrie's been very good in the faceoff circle, but that time Kitchener able to get the draw, get possession, and get a good shot there. But again, Hrebeck able to see that one all the way through, takes it in.
Stepping in to take the draw this time for Barrie will be William Schneid. Schneid's going to take the draw up against Edwards, but he's going to be tossed out. So Sam O'Reilly will step in for Kitchener. Face-off won by the Rangers. Edwards sends it back to the blue line. In front, Humphreys trying to settle it, but fanned on the shot attempt. Humphreys sends it around the boards. Edwards after it on the far side. Back behind the net is O'Reilly. Continues it to the near side. Humphreys comes up with it for Kitchener. He's taken into the boards by Von Richter. Colts to the line and out. Jaden Newton's going to give chase. Woolley will be the first one on it. Woolley takes it behind his own net. Puck's in the far corner. Back behind his own goal is Andonovski. As Andonovski's going to wait as his teammates right now are making a line change. Andonovski still sitting there. Started the year with the Belleville Senators before being sent back before the trade deadline. As the puck's at center, McCormick turns it over at the blue line, and dumping that one in will be Cameron Arquette. Eliasson over to Von Richter. Colts get it to the blue line. Reed keeps it in. Puck's down low. Arquette gets it in the far corner. In front, no one there for Kitchener. And the Barrie Colts are going to skate it out. It's Jonah McCormick. McCormick enters the attacking zone, takes the shot. That one was blocked by Reed. Now the Rangers take it back the other way. It's Romano on the near wing. Romano waits, fires. That's blocked in front by Aitchison. Romano sends it around. Aitchison was there. Another chance off the crossbar. The Rangers strike iron, but the Colts are going to skate it out. Desiderio sends us to the far corner. Kitchener with all the pressure right now to start off this hockey game. Just hit the crossbar a moment ago. Rangers are going to skate this one up. On the wing, Sherratt takes the shot. Stopped by Hrebeck. Big rebound. Puck comes back to the blue line. Cameron Reed with it now, over to Campbell on the near side. His shot blocked by Gardner. That's going to go in the air. Passmore tried to bat it out of the air. And now the Colts get it down ice, and that's going to be an icing call. As the Barrie Colts right now facing a ton of pressure to start off the game.
Yeah, the Rangers a much better start to this one, and shots 5-0. Colts still looking for their first shot. Rangers a lot cleaner coming out of their zone. In that first period, they had some big turnovers. Much better job to start this one for the Rangers coming out of their own zone, and they've been able to put a bit of pressure on Barrie here to start this one.
Face off to the left of Hrebeck. Face off not done cleanly, so they'll try this one again. Gardner versus Ellis. Face off won by the Colts. Kayshawn Aitchison comes up with it. He's going to skate it to the line and sends it across to Eamon Edgar. Crombie drops it back, but Gardner couldn't get a stick on it. Rangers get it out. Puck comes back into the Colts zone. Emerton up the wing. Crombie got a stick on it. No icing. Puck's going to go beside the Ranger net. Balecki in a battle with Edgar. Back behind the net to McNeil. McNeil's going to skate this one ahead for the Rangers. Reaches center ice. He's going to dump it in. Puck comes around the boards. Trying to get a stick on it is Hanser. Hanser, backhand pass picked off in front. Takes the shot. Stopped by Hrebeck. As coming out from behind the net was Hayden Ellis with another good chance there for Kitchener.
Ellis allowed to walk right out, and he tried to slide that one in between Hrebeck's pads. He brought it across the crease and hoped that would open up Hrebeck, but what a big-time stop by the Barrie netminder. Another great opportunity here for Kitchener, their best really of this contest. But Hrebeck standing tall here early.
It's kind of like what we saw in the Brantford series at times where the Bulldogs just had it pressure after pressure. But Ben Hrebeck stood tall in that series, and it seems like they're going to need that here tonight against Kitchener in Game 2. Rangers trying to get it off the draw. Edwards sends it around, back behind the net's Humphreys. Humphreys taken to the boards by Hanser, stays on it. Backhand pass in front of Fanning on it. There's a shot blocked by Zabeski. Another chance. Hrebeck the save, puck still loose. Hemming sends it to the boards. Picking it up for Kitchener is Edwards. Dylan Edwards trying to send it around to O'Reilly. O'Reilly flips it in the air, goes off the back of Zabeski, bounces in the near corner, and the Colts are going to get it out. Kitchener just getting chance after chance right now. They've got Barrie on their heels. As Kitchener's going to send it ahead. Andonovski passes it forward, picked off by Hemming. Now Hemming, he'll skate this one forward for the Colts. Enters the zone, trying to get around the defense. Shot from the point, stopped by Kirsch. As that's the first shot of the game for the Colts with 13:58 to play.
Well, a couple of big shot blocks in front of the net. The Colts have been very good at doing that. Again, the Rangers had them hemmed in their own zone, and so you need a Hrebeck already. Yeah, you saw a post and a big-time stop there in front of the net. These TV timeouts give you a bit of time to kind of settle things down there, and see Moskowitz and the staff there just trying to talk to the guys, settle them down here with this start. Kitchener in front of this big hometown crowd, all pumped, ready to go, and hey, you get through the first few minutes to settle things down. You get to playing the same game that you did Wednesday night. I mean, they can't be overly disappointed. You know, talking to Dylan Moskowitz, you like to see some more offensive push. We haven't seen that here early, as the Rangers have got off to a good start. But if you can ride a bit of this blue wave here, get things to settle down, and then kind of just let your systems take over.
Well, the Barrie Colts right now just looking for that spark to get things going. As we saw a couple of hits early on, Hemming was involved in that corner, but other than that, Barrie just trying to figure out a way to get into this hockey game.
And, you know, I mean, these playoffs, both these teams have been through a lot in these playoffs. Kitchener a little bit less adversity. I mean, yet to lose on home ice here. You know, this type of atmosphere, you got to love it if you're a Kitchener Ranger. I mean, this long history here, but for the Colts, you know, you talk to them, hey, they love it. They say they kind of feed off that. You know, and talking to some of the guys, and they said, you know, I mean, where doesn't Keishon Aitchison get booed? And he just loves it. He feeds off it, but got to settle things down here in this opening 6 minutes.
Well, it's quite the passionate fan base. They were already lining up to enter the odd at 4:30. So it was, everyone here is ready to get going. I do see Colt fans in attendance. Even the referees that we usually see at the Saddlein Arena are here.
It's great to see the fan base showing up for Barrie, and sure it's a tough ticket to get here.
Well, Friday nights in Kitchener are a hot commodity in town. So when you've got an OHL final game on a Friday night, the fans, they jump on those tickets quick. Over 7,400 in attendance here as it's a sellout. And we can get play back underway. Face off to the left of Kirsch. So they're going to do this face off again. It looks like Gardner is going to be tossed out. So Calvin Crombie will step in to take this face-off here for Barrie up against Romano. Face-off won by the Rangers. Reed picks it up for Kitchener. He's going to go for a skate through the neutral zone. Cross-ice feed to Pridham. Pridham, though, lost the handle of it, and that one ends up on the Colts bench. So they'll bring this face-off. Looks like they're going to keep it in the Barrie zone.
It seems like every face-off, someone gets tossed out.
Every time.
Every time. Someone gets tossed out, and that's a big change. I'll tell you, they've obviously believe it's one of the things that they've really focused on is those draws this year and paying more attention, looking for the perfect draw. But time and time again, we've seen that. Make sure that both sides are fair, but
face-off won by the Colts. Newton puts it behind his own net. That's sent around. Carter Lowe gets a stick on it. Turned over. Lamb trying to play it there. Puck's just bouncing. Lowe gets to the point. That's kept in by Campbell. Schneid trying to knock it out. Puck's still in the Barrie zone. Passmore in front of his net. He'll send it out to center. Schneid reaching for it, rolls into the Kitchener zone, takes the shot. That's going to go wide. Near side low. Puts this one off the end boards. Reed takes it for Kitchener. Cameron Reed up to Campbell. Campbell passing this one up. Into the attacking zone is Reed. One-timer stopped by Horebic. Puck's knocked down. Kitchener still putting on the pressure. Now it's taken away by Lowe. And the Colts skated out. William Schneid on the far side. He stood up. Puck rolls to the far corner. Campbell there to play it. Sends this one around the boards. Aitchison keeps it at the blue line. That goes back behind the Kitchener net. Rangers after it. Carter Lowe gets to the loose puck. At the point, Von Richter. Over to Aitchison. Across to Lowe. It goes off his skate. Stopped by Kirsch in front, but Campbell's going to take that pass away. And the Rangers will get it out to center. Puck doesn't go too far as Barrie's just going to dump it right back into the Kitchener end. Campbell chased there by Wilmot. Woolley will collect it now for the Rangers. Goes for a skate, flips it ahead. Von Richter's there. Up to Wilmot. Wilmot gives this one up. Here's Hemming. Hemming trying to go around Campbell, but that's knocked away from him. Puck's on the far boards. Up the middle. Eliasson has to go off his skate. He lost sight of it. Zabeski's able to recover. Here's Hemming in the corner. Emil Hemming in front, up the middle. Von Richter. Shot stopped by Kirsch. Puck's loose. They jam at it. Zabeski trying to find it, but the Rangers netminder ends up on top. As this line able to generate some turnovers.
Nice, some great patience. Zabeski again, just a warrior, go to the net, but Colts going to get this puck in deep and watch. They force the turnover here. Campbell, and again, it's going to go the other way. That was on the earlier opportunity by Kitchener, but that time Barrie able to get the puck in that slot, and Von Richter with a quick shot. But Kirsch doing a good job, again, coming out to that top of the crease. When you take away the angle, Zabeski, that puck was loose in front, trying to jam away to get at it, but eventually the whistle went.
Well, we were talking a few minutes ago about that spark the Colts were looking for, and we'll see if that's the spark they needed. Shots now 7-3 in favor of Kitchener, 12-11 left in the first period. Face-off won by the Rangers. Andonovski's taken into the boards. Ellis sends it around, far side. That's knocked away. Colts create the turnover. There's a shot stopped by Kirsch. Puck goes to the corner. That was Gardner who fired that one on net. Rangers get it out and down the ice. Eliasson back to come to play it here for Barrie. Off the end boards to Von Richter. Up the wing, Gardner chips the line, not out. No, they're going to say it's out. Delayed offside now against the Rangers. This will give Barrie some time as Von Richter has it behind his own net. Parker Von Richter. Facing some pressure there from Sherratt, the two former Steelheads. That's sent ahead. Edgar tips this one into the zone. Back to pick it up is Woolley for the Rangers. Passing it forward, off the boards. Sherratt sends it over. Here's Andonovski, skates it in for the Rangers. Over to Ellis, that pass doesn't connect. Colts trying to get this one out. Crombie, though, can't get by Pridham. Here's Jack Pridham, picks it up, passes it over. There's shot stopped by Horebic. What a chance there. Get the whistle. I believe the referee lost sight of it. That puck was loose, but Jack Pridham turning that play into a quick scoring chance.
Chance at both ends. Earlier, Gardner gets that pass in the slot, that quick shot. Kirsch able to make the stop, and now the Rangers come back the other way. And Pridham, that sniper, not a guy you want to leave open in that slot area. Plus over 40 goals this season, the Chicago Blackhawks prospect. A dangerous guy to leave in that slot, open in that slot area.
Aitchison fans on the pass attempt. Second time will get down the ice. And that's just going to go all the way into the Kitchener zone, so an icing call against Barrie. And it felt like in the first period of game number one, the top players on this Kitchener team took a little bit for them to get going, but here tonight, at that line, especially with Pridham, they seem to be dialed in.
They're ready to get a big push here and comforts of their home ice here, and it's been a good start for Kitchener, but shots 8-4. I think Barrie's settling down just a bit. They've had a couple of good chances as well.
Carter Lowe forced the puck out of the zone. Kitchener will regroup. Romano on the far side. Sends it towards the net. First one on it is Hanser. Justin Hanser gets this one forward, turned over to Pridham. Puck goes to the far side. Romano towards the net, blocked by Newton. Hammerton in the corner, sends this one along the boards, kept in by the Rangers. Here's Bilecki across one-timer, stopped by Horebic. What a stop there from Horebic. Now he's showing his physical side with Arquette as the puck comes down the ice. Emerton over to Schneid. Schneid sends it behind the Kitchener net. After it is Emerton. Emerton's down low. He loses it. Rangers pass it forward. Arquette in the neutral zone, flips it into the Barrie end. He's going to go off for a change. Mason Zabeski off the bench. He's going to play it, reaches center, dumps it in. Hirsch behind his own goal to play it as we're approaching the midway point of the first period. Still no score. Aitchison fires, stopped by Kirsch. Puck's in front. Not able to get a stick on it. There was Wilmot. Zabeski trying to get it in the corner. Rangers move it out. Edwards passing that one over to Andonovski. Far side. Romano over to Edwards, but he loses the handle of it. Mason Zabeski at center. He's going to flip this one back into the Rangers territory. O'Reilly gets a stick on it. That's blocked by Wilmot. Puck's in the corner. Kitchener trying to regain possession. They come to the near side. O'Reilly's taken in the boards by Zabeski in front. No one there. And the Rangers will pick it up. Back behind their own goal. Barrie's going to take advantage. They're going to make a line change here, and as are the Rangers. Woolley back behind his own net. Woolley's going to move this one forward. Nearly lost the handle of it. Puck sent down the ice into the Barrie zone. Eliasson back after it for Barrie. Von Richter continues it around the boards. Reed keeps it in at the blue line. Ends up back behind the Barrie net. O'Reilly sends this one over to Ansis. Ansis will hit the brakes. Avery Ansis makes the move, blocked by Vader. Puck goes behind the Barrie net. Ansis hits the brakes, taken there by Eliasson. Ansis gets it right back. Side of the net, O'Reilly trying to play it, falls, sends it to the point, but no one there. Puck's going to go all the way back into the Rangers zone, picked up by Cameron Reed. Desiderio on the forecheck. Desiderio trying to get to that loose puck. Reed back behind his own net, facing pressure now from Gardner. Gardner will take it from him. They battle in the corner. Rangers will dig it free, and they're going to skate it up. Lamb at center, lost sight of it. Puck's bouncing. Edgar trying to play it. It's between the benches. Rangers force it to the Colts blue line, but no further. Continue to battle along the boards. Getting in the way this time was Crombie. Now Kitchener move it in. Lamb chasing after it. Colts get to it first. Kayshawn Aitchison sends this one across. Far side, that's Brad Gardner. Up ahead to Crombie, poked away by McNeil. Puck goes to the corner. Campbell comes up with it, nearly lost it, and the Rangers move it out. That's, look out, big hit there from Kayshawn Aitchison. Aitchison just laid out Carson Campbell. Rangers, though, have possession in the attacking zone. McNeil trying to go to Sherratt. That gets by him. In the corner, Aitchison with another hit. Colts pick it up, and they're going to move it up. Here's Brad Gardner. Gardner reaches center. He's at the end of his shift, so he's going to dump it in. So in classic Kayshawn Aitchison fashion, he's throwing his weight around, and now it's an icing call against the Rangers. As for the Barrie Colts, you got to be excited when you see Kayshawn Aitchison throwing those hits.
Well, the A train has arrived, and just in time, and you put your head down, and it's a-coming. Another big-time hit by Aitchison. Again, you've seen this right throughout the season. Barrie's top. Really, you go back through the franchise years, Eric Reitz and big-time hitters and open ice hitters. Aitchison again, you got to be aware of that coming across that blue line. And Aitchison, what a big-time hit. That's got to be a lift for the guys on the bench as well.
Well, the Barrie Colts have started to generate a few more chances here. They're still being outshot 9-5 by Kitchener, but for the Barrie Colts, we're starting to see them get that forecheck going. Even guys like Nicholas Desiderio getting down low, disrupting the play a bit there to generate an opportunity.
That's their game again. Is that that heavy, hard forecheck forces turnovers, can force plays and get bodies in front. And for the Colts, I mean, again, Kitchener, they've had some good chances in this one. Rebick has been sharp. Gets some good shot blocks by Barrie, but I think they've settled down. And I think the first 5-6 minutes, a lot of those chances came in that kind of frame. Colts able to settle down a little bit here and just find their feet underneath them.
So we got 7:26 remaining in the first period. As the Rangers, they struck iron earlier, but Ben Hrebic, classic Hrebic fashion, making a couple of huge stops. As he's just been the story ever really since game number 6 of the, or game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final against Brantford. Hrebic has just dialed in.
Well, since the day he arrived in Barrie, I mean, what a story he has been here. And You know, that first year, again, Barrie, you know, David Belitsky working with him and didn't get a lot of action. But again, practice with the team, steps in next year and really established himself early. And, you know, with Sam Hillebrand, who was coming off that outstanding performance against Oshawa in the playoffs. I mean, Colts felt they had 2 #1 goalies, and then Hillebrand has just really developed into a top goaltender in the league. And Jaswell, again, you know, there's no, I think the same thing with his path, a similar path, but Arebic has really established himself here this season as one of the top goaltenders.
Aitchison fired a shot. It went wide of the net. Wilmot keeps it down low. Chasing after it is Hemming. Hemming leans into his man, trying to play the puck. Zabeski with a hit. Rangers regain possession. They'll get it out. That's going to sail to the Barrie blue line. Cole Emerton sets up Aitchison. Emerton receives the pass across. Zabeski got a stick on it. Bilecki is going to collect it now for Kitchener. Bilecki goes back behind his own net, passing this one ahead. Rangers go back behind their net again. Woolley up to Humphreys. Christian Humphreys gets by Hemming. He'll skate it through center. Backhand pass to O'Reilly. Sam O'Reilly into the corner, in front, poked away by Hrebeck at the blue lines. Woolley doesn't take the shot. Woolley towards the net, stopped by Hrebeck. Puck's at the point, another chance, and Edwards' shot is blocked in front. Puck bouncing in the near corner. Aitchison trying to keep it away from Humphreys. Fans are getting restless. They wanted a penalty, but play continues. Hemming sends it ahead. Wilmot trying to get a stick on it, but the Rangers take it back the other way. Edwards on the wing, cuts to the middle, takes the hit from Crombie. Puck's down low towards the net. Crombie will collect it. Calvin Crombie gets this one down the ice. Colts want to make a change, but they won't be able to, as that's going to be an icing call.
Again, Aitchison always gets the fans wound up wherever he is, and he's already seen a lot of ice time here in this first period.
Well, we're not hearing the traditional boos like we hear in other rinks. I'm thinking like in Oshawa, Brantford, usually, or Sudbury, as soon as Aitchison is out there, we hear the boos, but maybe because it's, you know, across conference, the Ranger fans aren't used to it yet.
Give it a little time, Mike. Give it a little time.
Face-off won by the Colts. Passmore takes down Arquette. Puck sent around the boards. Edgar flips it out to center. Crombie trying to play it. That was knocked away. Crombie, though, gets it again. Puck's in the air. Crombie's will send that into the Kitchener zone. Cameron Reed takes it in front of his own net. Reed drops this one back as Kitchener is going to regroup here. 5:40 left to go in the first period. Still no score as Campbell's going to skate it out. Carson Campbell reaches center, dumps this one in, far corner. Von Richter, the first one on it. Von Richter off the board, sends it to the blue line. Campbell keeps it in. No, it bounces over his stick. Puck's in the neutral zone. Gardner trying to collect it, sent across to Arquette. Arquette's pass knocked away, and Edgar is going to clear it. That goes off a Ranger player, so no icing. Reed has to come back to play it. Cameron Reed behind his own goal. He'll move this one up for Kitchener, the Rangers captain. Sets up Pridham. Pridham through center, passes this one over to Campbell. Campbell dumps it in. Goes back behind the Barrie net. Aitchison around, up to Carter Lowe. Lowe trying to get out of the zone. Newton picks it up. Here's a chance for Schneid. Breakaway. Schneid on that shot. Stopped by Kirsch. It rolls through, but on the other side of the post. But what a sudden breakout there from William Schneid.
Well, what a feed he set up there to get Schneid in behind the defense and trying to slide it in between the pads of Kirsch. And again, Jaden Newton's going to spring Schneid's open. He goes to the forehand. That puck squeezed through Kirsch, but fortunately for the Kitchener netminder, he had slid past the post and it came out on the other side of the post and not in the net.
That's now back-to-back games for William Schneid where he had a great look going to the net. It was the turnover in game number 1 in the first period. Wasn't able to tuck it around Kirsch. This time gets a breakaway. Tried to put it through Kirsch, but you needed a player to step up tonight with both Beaudoin and Salandra out, and William Schneid seems to be that guy that wants to step up.
Schneid, a couple of good opportunities, and what a play by Newton. Heads up, sees Schneid going down the middle, hits him with a perfect pass to spring him loose. Again, Christian Kirsch, I told you, he was really impressive in the games I watched him against the Sioux, and not a guy that, you know, you hear a lot of talk among the top goaltenders. The numbers are there, and he's proving again here in this early in this series. Coming up with some big stops there.
Well, the San Jose Sharks prospect, he's had to make a couple of big stops already in this series. Shots right now favoring Kitchener 10-6, but the most recent play was William Schneid on the breakaway. Just couldn't tuck it through that 5-hole of Kirsch. Before this Barrie team, a very slow start to this hockey game. They were outshot 6-0. And since that point, we've seen a couple of big hits from Keishawn Aitchison, some good scoring opportunities. So the Colts slowly coming to life here.
Well, you find your feet, right? Confidence, and Kitchener gets that big boost of energy coming off that Game 1 win. It's a Friday night here at the Odd, a packed house, and they get the energy early on. But again, Barrie, you know, the comfort of playing on the road. And, you know, it's always nice playing in front of your hometown fans, but this team, the veteran team, seems to be comfortable on the road. And I mean, that game against Brantford, or sorry, excuse me, that series, they won 3 games on the road. 1 win in Ottawa, and again in Niagara as well. So it really just speaks to the confidence that this Barrie team has had on the road this season throughout. Pretty good road record, obviously, through the regular season as well. One of the best in the entire hockey league.
The Brantford Bulldogs, they had the best home ice record during the regular season, and for Kitchener right now, they're still undefeated on home ice in this postseason, a 9-0 record. But this Barrie Colts team, they don't look like they're intimidated, as they've been generating chances. And now we'll get a face-off to the left of Christian Kirsch. 4:51 remaining in the first period. Wilmot's going to step in to take the face-off here for Barrie. Face-off, though, won by the Rangers. Humphreys gets it out to center ice. He's going to flip this to the near corner. Humphreys gets around Aitchison, gets in the corner, sends this one around at the point. Here's the shot. Horebic got the blocker up on it. Aitchison in the corner, puts it behind his own net. Aitchison's pass goes off the skate of Humphreys. Hemming chips this one out to center. Zabeski will find it. Takes the hit from Woolley, as Woolley throwing his weight around now. Kitchener on the far side. O'Reilly to the net, trying to go up top. Got too much under it, and that's going to go into the netting and out of play.
That took off on O'Reilly there, and you know, and again, I mean, you know, you go back to that Brantford series, such a, you know, 8 losses all season and through the playoffs on home ice. 5 of those came to Barrie. So the Colts, you know, this is a Kitchener team, hasn't lost on home ice, quite comfortable away from home. Looking to get a big one here in Kitchener. What a boost that would be. Even this series and go back home Sunday night. This series all tied 1-1. The Rangers are looking to keep that run going here on home ice and hold home ice going into Barrie on Sunday.
Face-off won by the Rangers. There's the shot, stopped by Horebic. Firing, that was O'Reilly. Gardner's going to get to it, sends the line, not out. Puck's bouncing, kept in by Woolley. Humphreys on the half boards. He'll come back to the point. Christian Humphreys, backhand pass. Up ahead, there's the shot, blocked in front by Aitchison. Puck comes to the near side. McNeil sending it down low to Edwards. Edwards loses it to Aitchison. He's going to clear it down the ice. Puck's rolling towards the net. Icing's waved off. McNeil taking it back behind his own goal. Both teams are completing a line change. McNeil's going to take his time as Kitchener makes their last change. Now he's going to skate it forward. Passing this one over through center. Picking it up. Ellis to Sherratt. Sherratt has it bounce on him. Colts get it to the line and out. Reed back to collect it again here for the Rangers. Up ahead to Ellis. Ellis dumps this one in. Von Richter knocks it down at the line. Newton gets a stick on it, trying to send it forward. Ellis goes back into the Barrie zone. Here's Schneid. Schneid up the wing. Newton tied up Reed's stick, so the puck will go back to the Kitchener blue line. Rangers with it. Gabe Sherratt along the board. Sends this one forward. Colts trying to keep it in the offensive end, as Ellis will send it behind his own net. Reed gets it again here for Kitchener. Up to Campbell. Campbell skates it in on the near side. Takes the hit from Eliasson. Puck's in the corner. Von Richter also at the hit. Puck sent ahead. Far side. Here's Sherratt at the point. Waits, fires. Glove save. Horebic. He saw that one all the way. And now we've got Luke Alanis going nose to nose with Eliasson. But those two will be separated.
I don't know if it's nose to nose, Mike. I mean, maybe nose to chest.
Yeah, just a bit of a height difference, eh?
Just a bit of a difference there, and Eliasson just standing there, and Elias, turns around. It's like he's got his chest right there, and again, a nice job there by Eliasson to keep his cool. Melanie is trying to draw him into a penalty. Big battles there, and Ben Wilmot coming off that two-goal performance in game one, and I think Zabeski on that same line. I mean, you talk about having those kind of power forwards in the game. They're able to generate up front on the forecheck, and this line had a huge game one, and Colts certainly need it here in game two.
Mason Zabeski sends it on goal. Kirsch guides it to the corner. Zabeski will be the first one on it. Up to Hemming. His shot stopped by Kirsch. He had Wilmot parked right in front. Emerton at the point. Sends it across to Aitchison. Near side Emerton. Cole Emerton waits, fires, deflected, and that's a high riser. And that's going to go out of play. But smart play there. Ben Wilmot going right to the net to create that screen. And Barrie just couldn't solve the goaltender.
Again, the Colts able to get deep, and great work by Zabeski. Wins the race to the corner, gets the puck, and creates the opportunity. Again, Zabeski has just been an absolute, what a pickup by Marty Williamson. I mean, again, that forecheck, able to create turnovers, always physical coming in, and what an opportunity there, Hemming, and what a job by Wilmot. Get to the front of Kirsch, but the Kitchener Rangers netmind able to find that one through and keep it out.
Face-off won by Kitchener. 2:20 left to go in the first period. Rangers going to send this one around. Picking it up is Edwards. Edwards has that knocked off his tape by Wilmot. Here's Zabeski. His pass is blocked. Puck sent to the corner. Zabeski trying to get it again. Andonovski skates it back behind his own net and moves it forward. Andonovski out to center. Humphreys takes the hit from Hemming. Puck goes back into the Barrie zone. Karevic continues it to Aitchison. Aitchison takes the hit. Edwards with possession turns it over to Wilmot. Colts with it. Von Richter off the glass. Wilmot has it go between his skates. Knocked down by Zabeski. He'll put it into the Rangers' end. Kirsch leaves it for Andonovski as Kitchener will regroup. Both teams make changes. 1:42 now remaining. On the wing, here's Sam O'Reilly trying to go to the net. Forced around by Eliasson. In front, no one there. Edwards couldn't get to it. Now it's going to be up the wing. Here's Calvin Crombie. Hits the brakes. Leaves it to Newton. Jade Newton from the near corner to the net. Stopped by Kirsch. In front, Gardner shot, scores! Brad Gardner found the loose biscuit, puts it through Kirsch. And the Colts, they have their first lead of the series. It's 1-0.
What a job by Jade Newton to get that puck in the front, and Gardner doesn't give up on it. His first shot is, whether it hit a skate, but he picks it up again and fires it home. And Brad Gardner, late in this first period, is just big chance again. Newton gets that puck to the front of the net, and watch Gardner takes it off the skate, able to get it to his stick. As Newton walks into the corner, he's going to throw this one in front off the side of the net. Gardner pokes at it. It goes off his stick, and he picks it up on the forehand and up and through past the right arm of Christian Kirsch. And the Barrie Colts have opened the scoring in game two.
I think Kirsch had a hard time seeing it because it was in the skates of Matthew Andonovski, but Gardner capitalizes. Now 7 goals in this postseason. So Barrie up 1-0. And we're down to the final minute now in this first period. Rangers trying to get it out. Colts on the forecheck. Passmore couldn't get a stick on it. Kitchener skates it out. Now it's Pridham on the near wing. Winds up. Shot stopped by Harevic. He's going to cover this one up. So we're going to get a face-off in the Barrie zone. But Ben Harevic out of his blue paint to cut down the angle there on Pridham.
Again, both these goalies, you come out of the net, come up to the top crease. They're not afraid to challenge shooters. And again, you're taking away the angle. You take away some of that net when you come out. Both these goaltenders do that really well. It's Kirsch as well. But what a big goal by the Barrie Colts here late. They kind of survived that blue storm for the first 5-6 minutes of this game and then settled down, and they get a late one here.
There's a quick shot off the draw from Edwards. It goes wide of the net. Aitchison's going to flip it to the line and out. Bilecki sends this one back. Puck taken away by Barrie. Von Richter's pass is deflected. Puck goes in the far corner. Cameron Reed picks it up for the Rangers. Up ahead. That's going to be sent out to the neutral zone. Von Richter's there. He puts this back into the Kitchener end with 29 seconds left in the period. Bilecki goes back behind his own net to regroup. Looks at the clock. Decides to skate it forward. Bilecki gets to his own blue line. Passes forward. That's chipped into the Barrie end. Aitchison behind his own net. Keishon Aitchison being chased by Edwards. He'll skate it forward. Reaches center. Dumps this one into the Rangers zone. 8 seconds left on the clock. Bilecki behind his own net, sends it around. 4 seconds left. Zabeski takes it to the line. Von Richter fires, but that's at the buzzer, and it's blocked in front. But the Barrie Colts outshot 6-0 to start the first period. Weather the storm. Aitchison with a couple of big hits, and the Colts just carried on that momentum and find themselves up 1-0.
You know, Dylan Smoskowitz talked about that, that not panicking. I mean, this team has been through it. They've been in all sorts of situations. They've been down. Just know, keep patience, keep working, play your game. And the Colts did that. They were able to settle down through those first 5 or 6 minutes, and they get one late. And what a play again by Newton. Drive it, thrown out to the front of the net. And Brad Gardner, I mean, able to kind of get that one off the skate and then into the front and then shovel it past Kirsch.
Right now, the two captains, Aitchison and Reed, were having a conversation with the referees, as it's been a clean game so far when it comes to penalties. No power plays for either side, but for Kitchener right now outshooting the Barrie Colts 14-11. Had an outstanding start there, and you have to give credit to Ben Horebic. He stood tall, as you said, weathered that blue storm, and gave the Colts that edge to get back into this hockey game.
Well, Ben Horebic has just always been there, and look, he comes up big, and I just talking to some of the guys, Rebic's part of the team, right? He's all part of it, and the old saying, oh, it's your goalie that's being the difference. Well, isn't he part of the team, part of the guys that are out there? And Rebic loves it. I mean, he relishes this, and you see some of the on the chat there, wondering, he's every second night he's going to get tired. Trust me, I mean, you're not going to pry him loose from that crease.
No.
Right now. He's fine. He's right where he is, and he just continues to play outstanding.
Well, for Ben Horebic, all goaltenders, they're a special breed, and he's no exception. He's a very humble guy, but he's got his tendencies, and he's been stellar so far in this hockey game for the Barrie Colts. But for the Colts being up 1-0, Gardner, you need that veteran to step up. And I know for Brad Gardner, he was a little quiet in that Ottawa series. He's got that overtime winner in the Brantford series in game number 5, but getting that big goal, that's a big moment here, especially when this team down Baudouin and Salandra due to injury, and you need somebody to step up, and you need those veterans.
I thought the same thing too. He's kind of quiet, which, I mean, former Ottawa 67, and he went in earlier and had a big game. I think it was in early February in Ottawa, but Gardner again came up with the overtime winner in that Brantford in Game 5 to keep that series going. And you give this guy the puck and you give him an opportunity. He's just such a great shot. And, again, even the patience there in front of the net, right? The ability to get it off his skate, get it to his stick, and get it to the back of the net.
And to this series, it's quite fascinating. All the former players and teams. There's the former Brampton Steelheads on either side of the lineup, and there's former London Knights. And one of those former London Knights is Ben Wilmot, and he's kind of stepped it up. He had 2 goals in game number 1. Nearly got the hat trick in the third period there in game number 1, but fell short. But he's been quite the addition here for this Barrie Colts team. Fit in quite well, basically from game 1 when he had played in that first match in Guelph after the OHL trade deadline. And he's a competitor, and he's been digging deep.
And, you talk about the versatility and a team guy, right? I mean, he played center with London, and comes here, plays the wing up and down to the two lines. You don't hear him complain. Hey, just put me out there. Whatever you need me, I'm out there. Then all of a sudden you get Cole Baudouin go down, and he steps right into that middle of that top line with Zabeski and Hemmings, and they look like they've been together for ages. And I mean, that Zabeski and Wilmot, that power game, and Baudouin was the same. He's a kind of a train up and down the ice. Wilmot's the same, right? That heavy forecheck goes too great. Then you got the sniper like Hemmings. But, Wilmot again, I mean, what an addition. Marty Williamson, all 3 of the additions at the deadline have just been outstanding.
Yeah, Ben Wilmot coming into tonight's action, 11 goals, 9 assists for 20 points. And before the game, Josh had a chance to catch up with Ben Wilmot, and here's his conversation pregame.
We'll join by Colts forward Ben Wilmot. Ben, you guys are coming off a tough loss in game number 1, but after coming back from 3-1 down on Brantford, this deficit doesn't feel too hard for you guys, does it?
Yeah, it's just the same thing, just keeping to our brand and to our identity. We're not fazed by a loss. It's 1-4 at the end of the day, and we're prepared for a long series, so we're just ready to battle tonight.
For you, 2 goals in game number 1. I mean, obviously your first championship series, probably some nerves coming in. Did it feel good to get on the board there to try and calm those nerves?
Yeah, every game I just try and do whatever it takes to help the team win, and it was nice to get on the board there. But, sometimes it's a goal, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a block, whatever it takes to get the win, and I was happy to help there. But, I think we're excited for another good one tonight.
Now, you guys are down Cole Beaudoin and now Joe Salandra. How important is that next man up mentality going to be throughout the rest of the series?
Yeah, this brotherhood is so strong. We're going to pick each other up no matter what, and we're going to rally for those guys, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get the win for those two. They'd kill to be out there with us right now, so we're going to do whatever we can to get the win for them.
Now, you talked about that brotherhood. It feels like a lot of teams, when they lose guys like that, it kind of really hurts them. But for you guys, it kind of feels like that makes you guys want to step up more.
Yeah, guys got to step up and got to bring their A game every time, and I think it gives guys an opportunity, shine in spots they're not used to, and it's a good thing to see in this sport. You never know when your name's going to get called, and it's good to always be prepared and ready to go, and I think everyone's ready tonight.
Only a day off between the 2 series. You guys are going every other day for almost a month. How are the legs feeling coming into this series?
Yeah, we're doing a good job maintaining our bodies, and honestly, this is what you dream of, just playing games, playing meaningful games, and it's the finals. It's hockey that you love to see and love to be a part of, so honestly, every day is a fun day at the rink.
Obviously, it was a bit of a short preparation for Kitchener. You guys have had a couple more days now. What have you guys noticed that you're going to bring into tonight?
Yeah, honestly, it's more the focus is on us and what we have to do. I think we just got to stay physical on them and stay to our identity, and I think we'll have no problem tonight.
It's the first intermission of Game 2 in the OHL's Championship Series. Right now, the Barrie Colts up 1-0 on the Kitchener Rangers. Brad Gardner, the goal scorer, his 7th of the playoffs. And it was a pretty slow start to this one for the Barrie Colts. They were outshot 6-0 early on. Kitchener, they rang iron at one point in that series of shots, but they weathered the storm. They started to get that forecheck going, and Brad Gardner finds that loose puck and able to bury it.
Well, it's a big goal late. I mean, look, it took them a little while to find their game, and I think as that period went through, they got more comfortable, established themselves, got some opportunities. But again, Newton, look, you got Gardner going down the middle, throw it to the net, and Gardner, really impressed me because he was able to get it off the skate and get it to his stick, right, and then shovel it past in. And Brad Gardner, again, the amount of goals he's had this season, the ability, that's what he was brought here for from Ottawa, to provide offense. And now you got Beaudoin out, you got Salandra, another top 6 forward out, and Gardner stepping up.
So shots after 20 minutes right now favoring Kitchener 14-11. And we do have the chat up and running, so it's we've got a couple of comments to get to, but if this is your first time tuning into the Colts radio broadcast, we do this chat. So if you have something that you want to talk about, bring up questions, or even just letting us know where you're tuning in from, we'd love to see the chat activity. And right there, Richard, I'm going to go to his first because he says it's the score at the end of the game that matters, though. Right, Gene?
I totally agree, Richard. It doesn't matter. And you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, if you gave up more shots, if you gave up more scoring opportunities, just find a way to win. You get to the finals, you need 4 of them. And I'm sure these teams will take it any way they can get it. For the Colts, same thing.
And above that is Vegetable. Wilmot's been so much fun to watch in Barrie. Was sad to see him traded from London, but it really seems like Barrie is a great fit for him.
Well, again, Marty Williamson said he was talking to Mark Hunter and just how about of a great kid he is, and in the room and so on. He's a big plus there, but on the ice, of how much of a competitor he was. And we've seen that right from day one with Ben Wilmot. And, again, look, I mean, players get comfortable playing. You've seen him playing down the middle, filling in at times. But, he was on the wing here for a bit. And you never hear him complain or demand, I want to be in the middle. I want to, Dylan Smoskowitz moved them up and down between those, really, that top 6 on that left side. And it was an area they really needed. They brought Zabeski in, and now Wilmot fills in on the left side and low. That's a pretty good top 3. And then, you got Kelvin Crombie that can slide in there with injuries. But, again, Wilmot, he plays that heavy game. He's great on the forecheck. This guy's not afraid to go any area of the ice. And, again, scoring some big goals. That's obvious here through in the playoffs.
Well, it's been interesting just how interchangeable both Wilmot and Zabeski were coming over. And obviously it's going to take time at that trade deadline to figure, okay, how is this chemistry going to work? But it paid off, and Smoskowitz even did it into the playoffs, where if things aren't working right, well, let's change it up, and it gives a new look to that first line. And really that's a factor in how the Colts came back in so many games.
Yeah, you see that. And, the nice thing is it's not just Wilmot in the sense that, Zabeski, too, playing that heavy game. I mean, this guy, like, I know we're switching here to Mason Zabeski, but what a force he's been in these playoffs. I mean, it's blocking shots. You see this guy limping after the game all the time, but his ability to go in on the forecheck and just create things. I mean, he's a force. I mean, he's a wrecking ball. And trust me, the defensemen going back to retrieve that puck, they know what's coming. It's big number 19. And, earlier in the year, I wrote a piece on him. And just, it's kind of like the Batman, the old Batman series, when you had the old cartoon, pop-ups that would come up on the TV screen, pow, bam. And, I mean, I watched Zabeski, and that's the first thing that came to my mind, with just how physical he is and how much he gets into the forecheck. And he's a wrecking ball out there, and he creates opportunities. And, him and Wilmot, again, Wilmot, the same thing again, not afraid to go into the corners, be physical, and, big additions for Barrie.
Now, Joe Babin saying, wow, Aitchison hits in the first period to get the Colts to send a message to the Rangers. Lots of physicality in this one so far. Keep it up, Colts. What a goal by Brad Gardner. And, for Kayshawn Aitchison, it's just been, that's been his mark. When you come into the zone, you have to have your head up. And for Aitchison, he caught Campbell there, and it was a spark. That did get this Colts team going.
The A-Train arrived on time in that one. I mean, we've seen that all throughout, this season and years before. And you're going to come with your head down, or if you're not aware where 77 is on the ice, look out, because it's probably coming. and Keyshawn Aitken. I mean, that's a big boost. Hey, it's no surprise that Barrie gets the goal after that, right? They get a bit of a bump. They start playing. I mean, the guys on the bench love that physicality.
So I'm just going through the chat. Not sure about the question from Digital News.
Most resilient. I think, is this the most resilient team we've ever seen? I think it's right up there. I think you can make an argument. You know, I go back and, okay, I'm going to go back a little bit here, Colts fans.
Here we go.
2002, the OHL Championship against Erie, that team with Bud Stefanski and, you know, David Chantonet. And, you know, that team was just, you know, a big heart. I mean, I used to laugh because him and Mike McCann and Bud Stefanski used to always talk about how they put the team. It was like the old Sears catalog.
Yeah.
And putting the team together, trying to shop, you know, going through the team profiles, trying to make moves that could add to them. And, you know, guys going back on defense for Ford, Mark Langdon. And, you know, again, I mean, that was a resilient team. A team maybe not as talented as others, but they got through to the OHL finals and pushed Erie to 6 games. And it was heartbreaking because they hit the crossbar in overtime and almost got it, excuse me, I think it was five games, but almost got it back to Barrie for Game 6. And who knows what would happen. I remember Bud Stefanski on the bus. You know, we went on the bus after we got back to it, you fly back to Barrie, and he was just looking ahead of him. He was just kind of in a dead stare, couldn't believe it. And then he turned around to me and said, gee, like an inch. That thing's down a bit by an inch, and we're heading home with a win.
Yeah, so it's quite, and that's the thing about OHL playoffs, or just playoffs in general, that it comes down to inches. And we saw the Rangers there in that opening 5 minutes. They struck iron. They had that crossbar, because if they would have found the back of the net on that chance, this place would have erupted. And we'd be talking about a different hockey game here, but they weathered the storm, and they're up 1-0 in this hockey game.
You got to wonder, like, these guys go home, and they got to see that play over and over in their heads, you know. And I always wonder, you know, I talked to Dale Howardchuk, and, you know, and look, he's been around a bit, but I remember him telling me, you know, Gene, he goes, that last second, we had 1 second to go into overtime in that Game 7 against London, and it's just the way it is. It's hockey, and it can break your heart. It can be outstanding in the moments, but it's what makes it a great game.
Oh, exactly. And right now the players are coming out onto the ice. We're getting ready for the second period of play, but you have to imagine this is going to be a Rangers team they're going to come out swinging, giving up that late goal to Brad Gardner. We saw it in the third period even of game number 1, where they found that groove and really put it to the Barrie Colts. So if you're Barrie, you got to expect another wave of blue here to start the second period.
Well, certainly. They're going to push. They're on home ice. They want to win these 2 at home. And, you know, for the Colts, look, I mean, they've been a good third period club. And, you know, you got to credit, you know, like, you got to credit the Kitchener Rangers. They came out in that third period with a huge push. And, you know, I expect them to push here down 1-0 here. But I think Barrie feels that they can be better. And the old cliche, hockey's a 60-minute game. And, you know, come to the OHL Championship, you're going to need that, because you know both teams, there are going to be times they're going to be pushing forward.
So we're just about ready to go for the second period of play. The team's out, ready to go, and the linesman having some words with a couple of the Kitchener Ranger players. And it's the game within the game. And I know we've mentioned that in the playoffs before, but just with these two teams, and they bring different aspects to it, you know, they're going to try and implement their systems and try and get things to go their way, especially when you see a team like the Kitchener Rangers down by 1.
Well, it's, you know, I mean, everything becomes a chess match in these finals. You know, lines, everything's broken down. Trust me. I mean, you know, Dylan Smoskowitz said, we're going to get a pillow and we're going to go in the office and we're going to spend all night looking at the game tapes and the videos and reviewing and seeing what we have to do. I mean, you know, those coaches' offices, I'll tell you, there's a lot of time spent in there. And I bet you there's some good pizza boxes in there as well, too.
I'd be curious about how many stacks of pizza boxes they have. So the players are ready. Wilmot's going to take the draw here against O'Reilly. Getting a little pushing and shoving on the far side. Humphreys and Zabeski. But this second period underway. Face-off won by the Colts. Evan Passmore inside his own blue line sends this one forward. Wilmot tips it into the zone. Back after it here is Andonovski. Andonovski up to Woolley. Woolley in the corner, takes the bump. Hemming to the net, deflected! What a chance by Wilmot. Kirsch is able to cover it up, but the Barrie Colts creating that turnover, and Hemming just simply puts it to the net. And Wilmot nearly took advantage. As now we've got Aitchison and Woolley having some words.
No, again on the forecheck to get it. Hemming out in front there, and Wilmot right on the doorstep there. Kirsch gets the big mid on it, but again, it's that forecheck by Barrie. Big, heavy, up front. You got Kitchener defense kind of forced to make quick decisions, and when you do that, at times it leads to costly mistakes or turnovers, and a good opportunity there for Barrie along the boards.
Face-off will come to the left of Kirsch. Hemming's going to step in to take the draw here against O'Reilly. O'Reilly will win that one to the corner. Rangers get it down and into the neutral zone. Passmore at his own blue line. He'll skate it back. That pass picked off. Getting in the way was Edwards. He has to dump it in as with delayed offside. Aitchison chased out from behind his net. He'll move this one ahead. Here's Hemming on the wing through center. Emil Hemming drops it back to Wilmot. Wilmot takes the shot to the net. Kirsch the save. Rebound, and Hemming puts it wide. The puck was loose for a moment. Zabeski gets it again back to the line, but Eliasson couldn't get there in time. That's going to sail all the way back into the Barrie zone. Humphreys trying to lean into Eliasson. Loose puck in front. Hrebeck makes the save. Ben Wilmot gets it in that far corner. Kitchener on the forecheck trying to disrupt this passing play. Von Richter forced to go back behind his own net. Passing it up the middle, deflected by Wilmot. Icing waved off. Campbell turns it over, side of the net in front, but Wilmot couldn't get there in time. Von Richter at the point. That shot blocked by Arquette. Along the boards, Romano puts it ahead, taken away by Von Richter again in the neutral zone. Parker Von Richter, he's going to dump this one in. Back behind the net for Kitchener as Reed takes the hit from Gardner. Puck's behind the goal, Crombie sends it around. Campbell collects it now for Kitchener. He's going to skate it back behind his own net. Gardner putting on the pressure. Puck comes up the wing, Arquette trying to settle it down. Sets up Cameron Reed. Reed up ahead to Pridham, near side, out of the reach of Romano. Puck's in the corner, Eamon Edgar. He'll give it up to Eliasson. Eliasson trying to play it. He had Reed in his way. Loose puck picked up by the Colts. Crombie sends it around. Eamon Edgar couldn't get a stick on it, so that's going to go to the length of the ice. And an icing call against Barrie. But what a start to the second period for the Barrie Colts.
That was the Rangers in the first period. They had a big start. Barrie already with like 3 really good chances and opportunities. And again, that time Hemming just works his way into the net and into the zone again and get the puck to the net. Zabeski with a chance in front looking for the tip in, but again, that Barrie forecheck, they're aggressive up front, they're coming in waves, getting bodies to the front, and it's leading to opportunities already here in the start of the second period.
Face-off won by the Rangers. They keep it at the point. That shot blocked in front, went off Sherratt. Eliasson trying to play it. Rangers with it again. Ellis sends it wide of the goal. Near side, Edgar trying to get to it. Bilecki, he loses it. Von Richter flips it out to center ice. That goes off Brad Gardner. McNeil's going to skate back after it for Kitchener. Gardner reaching for it, trying to tie up McNeil. Battle continues. Schneid trying to bump it loose as McNeil still holding it along the boards. Schneid knocks it free, side of the net. Rangers with possession. Knocked back to the corner. Puck's going to go around. Sherratt keeping an eye on Aitchison. Puck got by and out to the neutral zone. Ellenis going after that loose puck, but he's cut off by Schneid. Schneid up ahead to Kayshawn Aitchison through the neutral zone. Aitchison will flip this one deep, bouncing off the end boards. Picking it up is Bilecki. Bilecki skates it out for Kitchener, reaches center ice. Schneid with the hit. There's another turnover. Here's Jaden Newton now. Newton on the far wing, takes the shot. Kirsch the save. There's a rebound. Newton sending it over to Schneid again. Schneid tied up by Bilecki, down low to Low. In front to Newton, and that's blocked. Ends up behind the Kitchener net. Low back to the point. Aitchison takes the shot. That goes wide side of the net. Schneid couldn't get there in time. Bilecki got a stick in the way. Sherratt trying to play it at the point. Kept in by Aitchison. Up the middle. Goes to McCormick, but he was handcuffed. McCormick trying to get it again. McNeil puts it off the back of his net. Bilecki on the far side. He'll get it out to the line and out. Puck's bouncing. Rangers facing a lot of pressure at their own blue line. Desiderio took a swing at it. Vader ties up his man. Desiderio knocks it back to the Kitchener blue line. Nicholas Desiderio enters the zone, takes the shot. That goes wide of the net. Off the blue line is Passmore. Gets a stick on it, trying to keep it in the corner. Taken there by Desiderio. In front, Passmore. Backhand, trying to tuck it, but Kirsch makes the save. Rebound, and that's knocked away by Kirsch again. O'Reilly sends it around to Humphreys as it's all Barrie right now. The Colts now out shooting Kitchener 15-14. Desiderio down low. It's taken away by O'Reilly. And the Rangers regain possession, and they're going to get it out. Far side Edwards. Dylan Edwards. Backhand pass, blocked by Passmore, goes behind the Barrie net. Rangers with it at the point. Woolley shot bouncing, and Brevic got a blocker on it, puts it over the net. Puck's in the far corner. Dylan Edwards again trying to keep it away from Vader. Puck now in the near corner, back to the point. Woolley keeps it in, takes the shot, ends up in the corner. Edwards again. Sam O'Reilly sends it to the net. Hrevic's going to cover it up. But my, oh my, the chances this period already from the Barrie Colts with 15-19 still to go in the second.
Now, what a response by Barrie. You know, you get the first one late, you go in, you sit down, and how are you going to come into the second period? You don't take the foot off the pedal. In fact, you put it down, and just great pressure, all sorts of chances. And this is all hard work along the boards. They're winning battles along the board. They're getting pucks to the net, Passmore going to the net there, and almost a nice move on the backhand there. I mean, Evan Passmore, you know, the soft hands.
Well, remember at the beginning of the game in the chat, someone said they want to see Passmore score, and they nearly got their wish. Here's Hemming into the attacking zone, 2-on-1. He's got Wilmot going to the net, takes the shot, stopped by Kirsch. Zabeski goes after it. That pass is blocked. Rangers move it forward through center. Romano enters the attacking zone. Pridham back to Ananovsky. Ananovsky had it blocked by Hemming. Colts trying to get to it. Puck's bouncing around. Zabeski will let Von Richter collect it. He's going to flip it down the ice. That bounces back inside the Rangers zone. Out to center ice. Romano dumps this one to the far corner. Eliasson will be the first one on it. He'll send this one around. Von Richter there to pick it up for the Colts. Passing this one forward. Picked up at the Ranger blue line. Campbell sends it back into the Barrie end. Von Richter behind his own net. Sends it over to Mason Zabeski. Zabeski reaches the blue line across. That's out of the reach of Wilmot. So it's going to be an icing call now against the Barrie Colts.
Again, Barrie, you know, they talked about, Dylan Smoskowitz talked about, we want to see more pressure up front, create more chances, and we've seen that here to start this second period. And, you know, you take a blow, you lose your captain, Cole Baudouin, who's a big part of the offense, the OHL's leading playoff scorer, one of the top scorers in the Ontario Hockey League. What do? You just dig down. You lose Salantra, you know, a heart and soul guy, top six forward again, and you bear down. And we've seen that all year from this Barrie team.
Colts get it out. Hemming. That goes off the skate of Reed, but he's able to get to it himself, sends it around. Colts are now able to make a change. Campbell after it on the far side in his own zone. Campbell, his pass picked off by Eamon Edgar. Edgar trying to drop it back. He's tied up, stays on it. Puck rolls to the corner. Edgar, he's taken into the boards. Loose puck picked up by the Rangers. Alanis sends it across, can't get out of the zone. Picked off by Aitchison. In front, Crombie, but that pass is taken away. And now the Rangers will skate it ahead. Puck's on the wing, but Aitchison bats it away. Alanis trying to get to it, ends up behind the Barrie net. Colts with possession. Gardner sends it to an open wing. Aitchison up the wing. Crombie got a stick on it, so no icing. Reed back behind his own net. Passing this one forward. That one taken away by Gardner. Puck's behind the net. Colts getting that forecheck going. Eliasson trying to get a stick on it. Escapes the zone. Crombie returns it back into the Kitchener zone. Kirsch will leave it for Reed. Or Ananovsky, rather. Ananovsky in a battle with Schneid. Loses it. Puck comes to the point. Eliasson with that reach. Keeps it in. Up the boards. Crombie. Von Richter takes the shot. That goes wide of the net. Newton trying to get a stick on it. Von Richter keeps it at the blue line. Newton with it again. Backhand across in front. Taken away by Humphreys, and he'll skate it out. Christian Humphreys through the neutral zone. Passes this one ahead to the net. Blocked by Von Richter. Eliasson takes down his man, and that's going to be a penalty. A little too aggressive on that hit. So the Kitchener Rangers, they're going to get the first power play of the night and their first for this series.
Eliasson just kind of saying, you know, again, it's a big part of the game here, just a little bit too exuberant here. He gets the stick up, that's a cross check upstairs. I don't think any doubt about that one. And the Kitchener Rangers are going to have the first power play of this contest and their first power play of this series.
Well, there was a clever quote by Jussi Ahokas in the press conference yesterday when he mentioned the fact that they just haven't seen the Colts penalty kill because they never got any power plays in game number one.
You think a little subtle message to the, the officials?
just so subtle, just so he doesn't get a fine.
Hey, what about us? I don't know. We like to try it. That's, yeah.
So Gabriel Eliasson in the penalty box. So right now it is that TV timeout. So a bit of a break and a chance for the Rangers to drop a plan to try and get back into this hockey game. And for Kitchener, their power play operating at 34.1% in the postseason, whereas the penalty kill for Barrie right now operating at 75.8%.
Now you get a TV timeout here, and who's the advantage to? Is it Kitchener? You get to drop things, but certainly, I mean, the power plays are worked on all season long, so they're pretty familiar. Or you get the Colts maybe, be able to rest some guys here, get a bit of a break here, and kind of settle things down. And I always wonder, I mean, these little breaks, I mean, what do they add? Who does it help? Power play or penalty kill? I guess we're going to find out.
Well, you know that Kayshawn Aitchison, they'll be out there again. Every time it's a TV timeout, Dylan Smoskowitz loves to put in, that top line, and especially Kayshawn Aitchison.
Well, Richard adding, I had to say this because no surprise, Eliasson heading the box. Sometimes I think he hides snacks in there.
Next time we interview him, we got to ask him that question. What kind of snacks do you have in the penalty box?
Is that a hot dog?
Oh, that's clever. Good job, Richard. So we're going to get this face-off now to the left of Ben Horevic. As Brad Gardner out there along with Carter Lowe, Kayshawn Aitchison, and Parker Von Richter. Face-off to the left of Horevic. Sam O'Reilly in to take the draw for the Rangers. Face-off won by the Colts, and Aitchison gets it down the length of the ice. Kirsch behind his own net. He's going to leave it there for Cameron Reed. So they're announcing the penalty, so it is a cross-check to Gabriel Eliasson as Reed skates it up to center. Reed trying to send it back. It goes off the skate of Lowe. Rangers will carry it in, send it across. Far side O'Reilly. O'Reilly trying to cut to the middle. No one there for his pass. That's going to sail all the way back to the Ranger blue line. Gardner picks off the clearing attempt. Here's Carter Lowe short-handed. Lowe trying to corral it, but that was knocked away by Humphreys. Good start to the penalty kill here for the Barrie Colts. Cameron Reed, he'll skate it out to center again for Kitchener. That's sent around the boards. Aitchison after the loose puck. That's knocked behind the Barrie net. Aitchison collects it for the Colts. Aitchison makes the move. He's going to skate it himself. Reaches center. Backhand pass. That's picked off. Rangers back the other way. Humphreys on the wing. He goes down. Fans want a penalty. None coming. Puck's in the corner, and the Colts, they're going to get this down the length of the ice. Kirsch, he'll leave it there for his defense. Power play now down to 50 seconds. Bilecki sending this one across. That pass doesn't connect with Humphreys. Humphreys sends this one back to Edwards. Dylan Edwards goes for a skate, cuts the middle. His shot wide of the net. Misses that far post. Pridham continues it back to the blue line. Bilecki. Pridham gets it again to the net. Takes the shot, blocked in front. Rebound. Pridham trying to tuck it in front. Back to the point. Picked up by Bilecki. Sends this one over. Edwards to Humphreys. Humphreys shot through the blue paint. Pridham collects it. 18 seconds left in the penalty. There's the shot wide of the net. Rebound taken around the goal. Humphreys. His pass is deflected. Rangers after it. They keep it in play. Bilecki comes off the point. Takes it down low. Behind the goal. Skating this one around is Humphreys. Humphreys back to the point. Across to Pridham. Pridham takes it off the board. Sends it across. And that'll do it for the power play. Bilecki in front. Deflected. Shot by Humphreys. Goes over the net. That's going to go all the way down the length of the ice as the penalty kill unit gets the job done. Now the Rangers trying to take advantage of the Colts line change. Puck dropped back, but not able to connect. Schneid gets the line and out. Low up to Schneid. Schneid lost the handle. Newton dives for it. Puck goes to the corner. Antonovsky there to play it. Schneid can't get a stick on it. Rangers turn it over. Low sends it back behind the Kitchener net. Antonovsky collecting it now for the Rangers as Kitchener trying to regroup. We're almost at the halfway point of this hockey game. Barrie right now up 1-0. A goal from Brad Gardner in the first period. Eliasson sends his man into the boards. LNS takes the shot up high on Horevic and they score! Luke LNS fired it up high. It looked like it hit the chin of Horevic. And the Kitchener Rangers, they have tied it at 1.
Elnius again comes off that long injury, the former Barrie Colts draft pick, and that time the Rangers come down, get the puck to the front, and get it behind the net, and Ellis going to put this one out, and I don't know how he's able to jam that one in, just under the chin of Rebick. And again, the Rangers come down, and watch Ellis is going to get this puck out in front of the net, and Elnius somehow finds some open space there to get it up and over Rebick to tie this one up.
So Ben Hrebeck is rubbing his jaw after that shot. He's staying in his crease, so he seems to be okay, but the Kitchener Rangers, they've tied it. Luke Ellinas is second of the playoffs. That's now just 2 goals in 3 games since coming back from that injury. So it's a whole new hockey game with 9:45 left to go here in the second period. Campbell has it behind his own net. Oh, they're actually giving the goal to Gabriel Sherratt. So it's going to be Sherratt giving the credit for the goal there. So for Gabriel Sherratt, that's his 4th of the playoffs. Colts moving up, Crombie ahead for Gardner. Gardner trying to get a stick on it, takes Campbell into the boards. Brad Gardner trying to play it. Picked up here by the Rangers as Cameron Reed will send it across. Over to Pridham, he'll dump this one in. Arquette chasing after it, picked off by Emerton. Emerton gets it out to the neutral zone. Reed back with it, sends it on goal. Hrebeck makes the glove save, and he'll play it to Cole Emerton. Emerton up the middle, that's taken away by McNeil, and the Rangers carry it in. O'Reilly on the far side. Sam O'Reilly in front, finds Bilecki trying to get the shot batted away, and the Colts skated out. Ben Wilmot on the far side. Wilmot's got Hemming going to the net, finds Hemming, his shot scores! Emil Hemming, what a setup by Wilmot. And just like that, the Barrie Colts are back in front.
No, your big line comes right back and puts you back on top. And what a setup by Wilmot. He feathered that thing through, and then Hemming, the rifle shot, top corner over the right shoulder of Kirch. And again, the Colts come through with speed. Wilmot, look at the little touch. What a pass by Wilmot, puts it right on the tape for Hemming. And the sniper, the first round pick of the Dallas Stars, right over the glove hand of Kirsch. And that's one way to answer. 1 minute and 9 seconds after the Kitchener Rangers tie it, the Colts top line comes right back and puts them on top.
What a shot and what a pass by Ben Wilmot. 8:41 left here in the second period. Now 2-1 Barrie. Rangers looking to respond. Edwards shot on goal, stopped by Hrebeck. And then a Ranger player took a jab at the pads of Hrebeck. That's going to generate a crowd as Passmore gets involved. That looks like it may have been Antonovsky who took that jab. But my oh my, is sudden burst of goal scoring here at the Odd.
Well, like I said, you tighten up, and but what an answer for Barrie, right? You give up that tying goal. Does Kitchener get a little bit of momentum? Nope, the Colts come right back, and it's your big guns. They've been so good in that game 1, and then again Hemming. But what a setup by Wilmot. Came down the left side with speed, and there's a couple of defensemen, and he feathers it right through. It's the old Pereira touch, Mike. Is that what I said?
That's got to be what it is.
It's got the old Pereira touch.
He's been watching your tapes, has he?
He's been watching my tapes. They're VHS. Hey, they're a little bit old.
They got a little dust on it still.
A little bit of dust, They had to find an old VCR.
But they watch those tapes. Well, Ben Hrebeck during this TV timeout was being attended to momentarily just to make sure he's okay after taking that shot up high. But my, oh my, this has been a wild turn of events here at the Odd. It took us a while to get our first goal of the game, and then suddenly you get 2 just over a minute apart.
Well, that's junior hockey. If it can be crazy, it'll happen at one point.
It's
in
true.
The finals, but you got 2 teams just battling, and again, and Barrie had those great chances, and then Kitchener starts to kind of settle down a bit there, and they get a chance, and the story there, they come back, and the big gun gets it right back. But again for Barrie, momentum is a big thing, right? And you can, how do you take the adversity, right? They give up that tying goal. You work so hard in that to start the second period. You got all sorts of chances. not able to connect. All of a sudden, all that work, and you're thinking, okay, we're back tied, right? We're back on, but you come back. Your big guns come back, and Ben Wilmot, who's just been outstanding in this OHL final, comes through with a beautiful pass. And then how about Hemming? I mean, look, a sniper, you know, they bury it, right? And that's what Hemming did. And there's a reason why he's a first-round pick in the NHL by the Dallas Stars, and a good example there.
And that's now 13 goals in the playoffs for Emil Hemming, as he's one of the top scorers in this postseason and showing what he's capable of. Keeping that stick on the ice, and receives that pass from Wilmot, puts it back behind the net of Christian Kirsch. So we're down to 8:32 left in the period. Shots now 19-17 in favor of Kitchener. So we'll get this face-off momentarily, just waiting for the red light to come off for the TV timeout. They get the thumbs up, so we get play back underway. Face-off to the left of Hrebeck. Wilmot's going to take the face-off here for Barrie. And it's won by O'Reilly. Back to the point. Andonovski waits. Nearly lost the handle of it. Stays with it. Half boards for Andonovski. His shot blocked by Zabeski. Puck goes behind the Barrie net. Colts collect it. Ben Wilmot across for Hemming. Hemming trying to chip that one ahead. It was blocked. Up the wing to Zabeski. Dumps this one in. Kirsch comes out of his net to play it. Leaves it for Woolley. Jared Woolley. He'll move this one forward. Up ahead. That doesn't connect with Edwards. Sails back to the Barrie blue line. Passmore up to Wilmot. Wilmot trying to go to Zabeski. Edwards read that play. He'll skate it in now for Kitchener. Sends it across. O'Reilly fires that one wide. Woolley off the point. Sends it into the corner. Back behind the net is O'Reilly. Sam O'Reilly back to Woolley. Back across. Andonovski's shot stopped by Hrebeck. There was a crowd in front. Andonovski gets it again at the blue line. Sends it around. O'Reilly trying to settle it behind the net. He's taken to the boards by Aitchison. Colts after it. Andonovski backhand pass to Edwards. Edwards across, but Wilmot got a stick in the lane. Wilmot trying to knock the puck free. Zabeski's there as well. Wilmot has the handle of it here. He'll send it around his own net. Near side now for Hemming. Hemming with the go-ahead goal for the Colts. He'll skate this one forward. Emil Hemming reaches center, flips it in the Kitchener zone. Andonovski's there. Andonovski dropping in the corner. Woolley will go after it. Woolley flips this one down the ice. Eliasson has that one go over his stick. He'll chase after it in the corner. Sends it around. Von Richter facing some pressure. Puck's bouncing. Eliasson back behind his own goal. Eliasson up the wing. Here's Desiderio quickly to Gardner. Back to Desiderio. Leaves it to Crombie. Desiderio into the corner. Trying to go to the net, but that hits the side of the goal. Desiderio to Crombie. Crombie loses it. At the point, Von Richter. That goes off Crombie. He's trying to play it. Rangers knock it out to center. Sherrod on the wing. Passes it over to Ellis. Back to Sherrod. Stopped by Hrebeck. Rangers get to it. Reed takes the hit from Desiderio. Puck goes deep. Alanis loses it. Playing it from his knees. Von Richter collects it. Looked like Alanis was knocked down by Eliasson. Fans wanted a penalty, but play continues. Puck sent into the Kitchener zone. Puck's loose. Rangers knock it out to center. Desiderio's going to dump it in as both teams are trying to make changes. Kitchener, though, wants to take advantage of the Barrie change. So they take their time. Campbell dumps this one in. Von Richter, first one on it for the Colts. Sends it behind the net to Aitchison. Deshaun Aitchison up to Jaden Newton. Newton in the neutral zone, dumps it in. Kirsch behind his own net to play it. He'll leave it there for his defense. Reed sends it around. Newton with the hit. Puck along the boards. Newton digs it free. Puck knocked to the corner. Reed had a stick on it. Bilecki gets the line and out. Hanser will dump it in. Delayed offside here against the Colts. They have to tag up. This will give Kitchener some time and space. Pridham picks up momentum through the neutral zone. Flips this one ahead towards the net. That's blocked by Hanser. Hanser trying to send it. Puck's in the corner. Schneid's there as well. Hanser back to Schneid. He's going to skate behind his own net. Facing pressure there from Arquette. Hanser gives chase, sends this one to Lowe. Carter Lowe gets it out and down the ice. And that's going to go down the length of the ice. And we get an icing call now with 5:07 left to play in the second.
You get a TV timeout just at this time, and Colts won't be able to make a change, but they'll get a breather. Out. What a game two this has been, just tooth and nail. These two top teams in the respective conferences. Back and forth, and things getting a little bit tighter out there, but still, I mean, both these teams, their transition games, the ability to get going up the ice quick, and you got to be ready.
Well, we're down to 5:07 left to go in this period. Shots favoring Kitchener 21-17. And one player who kind of stood out in that last shift, Jaden Newton, throwing his weight around on that forecheck, and that's with like the Barrie Colts, and Dylan Smoskowitz talks about it. That's Barrie Colt hockey. You got to get everybody involved. Everybody has to be, playing that physical style. And when you start to hit those Ranger players, you're making them rush it, and it's causing all these turnovers.
Well, you can see the Kitchener player there. He froze. He's going to get it out of the zone. Then all of a sudden, he kind of braced for the hit by Newton. Newton able to tie him up there. And, look, I mean, these Rangers, they know they're going to get hit. And, you figure that out pretty quickly. And, that's what's going to happen. And it's a different animal than a lot of teams, faced. I think Windsor, was a bit like that. I mean, one of the things, I didn't watch as much of that series, but Windsor plays a similar type game with Barrie, but they didn't play as heavy. And a lot of talk, their power play obviously didn't connect, but they weren't as physical as they've been in the past. But that's Barrie's game. I mean, they're going to force you into quick decisions on the back end, and they force turnovers, they cost mistakes, figure out, just get bodies in there and tight and be physical. And look, it takes a lot out of you to play that game 60 minutes, but Colts pumped, and 5:07 remaining in a 1-goal game.
Well, it's been an entertaining one so far as the Barrie Colts. Goals from Brad Gardner in the first period and then Emil Hemming here in the second. And for Kitchener, they've given credit to Gabe Sherratt, although it looked like Luke Alanis was the one who fired it off the mask of Harebic. But we'll go with Sherratt because that's what the official goal scorer put down. Trying to get this face-off going.
I don't think it hit anybody. I didn't. It looked like Alanis. I mean,
I thought it was Luke Alanis too because he took that
all the
shot
way through. I mean, Ellis got it back to him in front.
They might change that during the intermission. Puck's at the Kitchener blue line. Andonovski skates this one in on the wing to the net. Bounces off Hanser and just misses that post. Rangers nearly got a break. Puck's in the corner. Hanser up to Lowe. Carter Lowe can't play it. Hanser's going to put it to the line, kept in by Woolley. Kitchener continues it around the boards, near side Edwards. Edwards back behind the net, O'Reilly. Humphreys back to Woolley at the point, rides the blue line, trying to keep it away from Lowe. Jared Woolley taking it down low, backhand to the net, and Harebic makes the glove save. And now we got Edwards giving a couple of cross checks to Aitchison. Harebic actually stands up for his defenseman.
Harebic having some words, and as again, these two teams, one from the west, one from the east, they don't play just the two times. And but as we see, as it goes through the series, Brantford and Barrie, the heat was right there, right? The intensity, and I think, look, it's not to say there's not intensity here, but I think that'll build up. You'll see more of that pushing, shoving, more jawing back and forth as we move along in this series, especially when it's as tight as it is.
Face off to the left of Harebic. Wilmot taking the draw against O'Reilly, the two former teammates in London. O'Reilly's going to be tossed out, so in steps Dylan Edwards. Edwards versus Wilmot in the face-off dot. Puck ends up in the corner. Eliasson trying to play it. He'll collect it. Backhand pass to Hemming. Hemming gets this out to center. It goes off Zabeski. Andonovski up to O'Reilly. O'Reilly hits the brakes. Knocked down by Eliasson. Puck still loose. Sent to the blue line. Colts can't get it out. Zabeski had his stick tied up. Rangers with it. Edwards in the slot, but loses the handle. Edwards back to the point. Sends it around. Down along the near boards. Colts get a stick on it. Hemming trying to move it forward. There's a shot from Edwards. That's going to go wide. Andonovski comes off the point. Takes a hit from Zabeski. Mason Zabeski knocks it free. He takes a hit. Von Richter with it. Over to Hemming. That's knocked to the line and out. Rangers, though, get it again in the neutral zone. Andonovski will dump it in. Zabeski looking over his shoulder. Hammers this one down the ice as Hemming was trying to beat the icing, but that's not going to work. And they'll bring this face-off back.
Mason Zabeski's got to sleep in a bed of ice. I mean, after these games, I mean, the physicality, whether it's blocking shots, and just seems every shift he's go out there battling in the corners, and there's got to be like a big bed of ice at home that they just, here you go, Mason, just rest up here for a day and a half and you'll be good to go.
Getting to the ice bath after the game, maybe? Down to 3:37 remaining here in the second period. Colts holding on to that 1-goal lead. Face-off won by Kitchener. At the point, Reed flips this one ahead. Reed with a shot, blocked by Zabeski. There he is again. Picked up by Eliasson, sends it up to Gardner. Gardner's going to skate it back into his own zone. Von Richter with it now. That pass deflected into the far side. Hemming there to play it for the Colts. Hemming, backhand pass, finds Aitchison at center. Aitchison sends it in. Kirsch tried to slow it down behind the net. That got by him. Desiderio gives chase. Picked up by Campbell. Sends this one back in front of his own net. Reed back to Campbell. Campbell up to Alanis. Alanis catches up to it on the wing. Hits the brakes. Luke Alanis back to Andonovski. Takes the shot. That goes over the net. Desiderio trying to get a stick on it. It's in the corner. Aitchison throws his weight around. Puck's loose. Crombie goes to Desiderio, and the Colts get it out. Crombie through the neutral zone on the wing. He'll send this one deep. First one on it are the Rangers. As Campbell get this one out back to the Barrie blue line. Aitchison across, finds Carter Lowe. He got a stick on it, so no icing. Aitchison took a hit behind the play. Puck sent in front to Crombie, but couldn't settle it down. Cole Emerton trying to come off the point. Romano took it away, and now Alanis will skate it out to center. Alanis settles it down inside the line. His shot on goal, and Hrebeck will hold on with 2:12 left in the period.
Yeah, that line was out there for a bit. You could just see from Ellis, I'm just getting out of the net, get the face off in their zone and get a line change. Crombie was out there for a bit as well, but both these teams will make some changes, get some fresh bodies out there.
So face off to the left of Hrebeck. Romano's going to step in for Kitchener to take the face off against Jaden Newton. Face off won by the Colts. Von Richter behind his own net. Schneid takes the hit along the boards. It gets down the ice. Wilmot gives chase. Andonovski, first one on it behind his own net. Wilmot trying to get a stick on it. Rangers to the line and out. Von Richter sends it right back into the Kitchener territory. Woolley behind his own net. Jared Woolley passing this one forward. Pridham puts it off Newton. That bounces on him. On the wing, shots. That's blocked. Getting in the way was Cole Emerton. Rangers still with it behind the Barrie net. That's Arquette. Backhand pass to Pridham. Jack Pridham hits the brakes far side. His shot into the crowd. It's loose. And Hrebeck able to cover it up before Arquette could get a stick on it.
Minute 33, and again a big draw in the Barrie zone there, and again Hrebeck. The shot blocks, they've been big in this period, and they're going to be big throughout this series.
It's been such a common theme already in just the 2 games of the OHL final, the amount of blocked shots from the Barrie Colts. Blocked shots on the forecheck. There's a shot from the point, blocked again. Getting in the way this time was Zabeski. Puck sent to the neutral zone. Hemming reaching for it. He's taken into the boards. Hrebeck back behind his own net. He's going to send this one around. It's a Ranger player. That shot goes across the crease. Hemming gets it out to the neutral zone. Reed back to Campbell. Campbell backhand pass. On the wing is Humphreys. Christian Humphreys takes the shot. Stopped by Hrebeck. They jam at it. Puck's loose. And then they get the whistle, and then Kayshawn Aitchison put his man into a headlock. Bit of a wrestling match there on the ice. Aitchison still involved, and Passmore just dragging O'Reilly out from underneath Aitchison.
O'Reilly, as Hrebeck grabbed that one, and then O'Reilly looking for a loose puck. The Kitchener Rangers get in there, and the Colts taking exception. Well, this is usually just customary, but again, you know, you're going to get bodies to the front of the net. Anytime the puck's there, the Rangers is able to work in deep, and Hrebeck's going to get this underneath, and O'Reilly's trying to fish that one out, and then he gets tied up with Aitchison, and then Aitchison down on the ground puts him in a bit of a headlock, and just friends.
You know, they're just getting used to one another, you know? Now we are getting a couple of roughing penalties out of this. Mason Zabeski in the box for Barrie and Christian Humphreys for the Kitchener Rangers. So now we're going to get some 4-on-4 action, and with the firepower and talent on both these teams, this could be a lot of fun these next 2 minutes.
Open ice, you don't hear players complain about open ice.
All that space. Right now, Cameron Reed still having a word with one of the referees. As Kitchener, I think, feels there should have been an extra penalty, maybe on Aitchison for the takedown on O'Reilly. But play continues here, 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. That'll carry over into the third period. Face-off won by Kitchener as we're now in the final minute of the second. O'Reilly trying to play it. Colts take it. Gardner after the loose puck. Back up to O'Reilly. O'Reilly taken to the boards by Von Richter, and that's sent behind the Barrie net. Aitchison there to collect it for the Colts. Aitchison facing pressure there from Edwards. He'll just skate it back behind the net. Aitchison will move it forward. Starting to get the Boo Birds here at the odd. Gardner got a stick on it, rolls to the net. Andonovski will play it. Matthew Andonovski skates it ahead for the Rangers on the near wing. Waits, fires, and that's going to go over the net. Hrebeck may have got a piece of it. That's going to sail all the way back into the Rangers zone. 16 seconds left in the period. Cameron Reed picks up momentum through center, sends it across. Here's O'Reilly. O'Reilly to net, kicked aside by Hrebeck. Big rebound. Woolley fans on the pass. Reed to the net. That's guided to the corner by Hrebeck. 3 seconds left. With it is Hemming, avoids a couple of hits. And that will do it for 40 minutes of play as the Kitchener Rangers trailing the Barrie Colts right now by a score of 2-1.
Both teams trade goals in that. Sherratt gets credit for Kitchener's at 10-10 and then 11-19. Emil Hemming puts Barrie back on top, and you're starting to see a little bit more of that intensity kind of wrap up and some words being exchanged out there. And
well, right now it's Jared Woolley. He's upset. Him and Aitchison were tied up after the buzzer sounded. I almost wonder if we're going to get another penalty out of this at the 20-minute mark, but we'll have to wait and see what is settled there. But more importantly for the Barrie Colts, they find themselves up 2-1 and trying to get the split on the road here in this OHL final.
Well, again, I mean, they answered back quickly, and that was the big thing. I mean, the Rangers, you don't let them get momentum, feed off of that tying goal. They come right back. The big line of Hemming and Wilmot, and the big two connect there. But again, a pretty solid period. Things getting tighter out there as this game moves along. And now we go into this little intermission here, as they call it. And you can expect that both these teams, well aware of what happened in game one where Kitchener was able to come out, have a big third. The Colts are going to be well aware of that with Dylan Smoskowitz. He talked about the importance of having a 60-minute game, a 60-minute effort. And they're going to need that here if they're going to find a way to get out of here and even this series.
So we're still just waiting to find out what the penalties will be at the end of the second period. Sebastian and Reed, we're waiting for an explanation. Oh, but there's an unsportsmanlike penalty to Christian Kirch, the goaltender. So it's going to be a power play going into the third period here for the Barrie Colts. So the goaltender getting unsportsmanlike.
It's, you know, and you look at a game again, and I know that things get heated, get cool, and you're out there, but now you're going to give Barrie a power play. And, you know, you go back to that Brantford series. Barrie was up in Game 7, 1-0 going to that third period. They had a 4-minute power play. Brantford killed off the first two, but the Colts had a big chunk of that second part of that power play in the third period, and they were able to connect on the power play, and they just fed off that. So I'm sure the Colts will be looking to get a big power play goal here to start this third period.
So it's a 2-1 hockey game. The Barrie Colts will have the power play going into the third period. And I'm seeing that Richard's asking, where is Josh? Well, Josh is here, and he will be taking over. There, see, there he is. So he is here. But we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about the game so far, and if there's anything that you wish to discuss, you can put that in the chat. But it is a 2-1 score here at the odd in Kitchener for the Barrie Colts, and it's a 2-1. We're going to take a break. Welcome back to the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, where the Barrie Colts have a 2-1 lead at the second intermission, as Barrie trying to get the split on the road before heading back to Barrie Sunday night for game number 3. And we had Gene Pereira in for the first 2 periods. Now we've got Josh McCann back. I know Richard was asking where you were. You were just here doing your notes and doing your job.
Yeah, I was just relaxing, and people got concerned, and it's a good thing to know if I ever go missing, because Mike and Gene get tired of me, that the chat will have my back and they'll know that I was gone. Also, shout out to Arvin Jaswal's father, who I met downstairs while I was heading through the concession stands at first intermission.
We've seen his Arvin's mom.
Yeah, we've seen, I believe Arvin told us that she watches the stream sometimes.
Yeah, obviously she's in the building.
Yeah.
But
there's a bit, the families are all right in front of us, so
yeah, they're all,
you can see all the different jerseys, and
it's kind of,
I saw a Newton jersey, I saw a Lowe jersey.
Yeah, they're all here. They're all in attendance. But it is the second intermission, so we will go to the chat. If you want to join the conversation, you can put your comment there. And I'm seeing that Matt Stripe saying, it's about time Barrie wins the Memorial Cup. Cherry was on those Barrie Flyers in the 50s. The Flyers, of course, relocated to Sudbury as the Wolves in 72. But he does bring up a point. It has been quite some time since the Memorial Cup has been in Barrie. And you don't want to, think that far ahead right now, but the potential with this Barrie Colts team, it's there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if they lose in the OHL final, you're going to kind of sit around and probably forever, when you think about this team, think about, man, what if Baudouin and Salandra were healthy in that finals? Because the effort the Colts have brought here tonight without those guys has been just as good as the effort Kitchener's bringing. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think this series is still up for grabs for both sides, but whoever wins tonight, it's going to go a long way. Kitchener with an opportunity to take a commanding 2-0 series lead, but Barrie, all of a sudden, again, I know we said it last series and it didn't really work out that way, but chance to put Kitchener on their heels and get home ice, which, just like Brantford, was not a situation the Rangers have been in yet.
And the Barrie Colts, they will have the power play to start the third period. They fixed it. They announced it as Christian Kirsch for unsportsmanlike, but now they've put Jared Woolley's number on the board. And we were kind of wondering if it would have been Woolley, because he was kind of having an interaction with Kayshawn Aitchison at the end of the period. So it's Jared Woolley who will be in the penalty box when we get the third period underway. And I do like the interaction going on between Mike Fallis and Richard. Fallis, of course, saying pain, and then Richard reminding him, not yet, next year.
Well, I like how Mike's just quick to the point now, just pain, just right away. We know he knows we know what he's up to, and for the Barrie Colts, it's going to be an interesting year next year, but anytime you get a chance to go to the finals, I think it's well worth it. It's not often. The Barrie Colts as an organization would know it's not every day you get to go to the finals, no matter how good of a squad you think you've put together. Look at the Brantford Bulldogs this year, for example. I mean, a lot of people pretty much expected those guys were going to waltz through the East, take down Kitchener, and head off to the Memorial Cup. They're not even in the OHL finals now. That's just how unpredictable junior hockey is, and that's the same thing next year, how unpredictable it can be. We may think the Barrie Colts are in for a retool season, but maybe all of a sudden some happy surprises happen and they're better. Maybe they're a bit worse than expected. That's the thing about junior hockey. You just never know. There were so many teams this year that you looked at, thought they were going to be really good, thought they were going to struggle, that really showed up. The Ottawa 67s are a pretty good example of that.
Yeah, and it's junior hockey. You just never know, and that's why you play the games. And I think nobody was expecting a 5-0 hockey game in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final when the Colts eliminated Brantford. But it's going to be an exciting finish. We still have a whole third period to go, so things can change. Now, I see that Retro Vinyl saying pizza, beer, and the booth tunes. That's a pretty good combination.
That's a pretty good one. I will touch on what we were just talking about a minute before as well, because for Barrie, since COVID, Colts fans have been pretty lucky with the teams that have been put together. That first team that comes out, they go to Game 7 of the second round, really entertaining group of Brant Clark, Evan Bierling, and Ethan Cardwell. And even that next year, they've really only had one season where they weren't among the contenders since COVID. That was that year they lost Oshawa in round 1. That was a really fun group. It was that underdog group that stuck in games down the stretch. You remember that run Bo Gelsman went on after the trade deadline? It was an easy group to get behind, and then of course, these last 2 seasons with conference finals runs and now into the finals. And yeah, like it was set up there, pizza, beer, and in the booth tunes. That's a pretty good Friday night for someone.
There you go. And we're seeing fans for both the Colts and the Rangers in the chat. So we got Christy and Weird Dude saying, "Go Colts, go." And then Martin saying, "Kitchener's coming back here, just warmed up." And that's the thing with this Rangers team. We saw that in the third period in game number 1. It was a 2-2 score going into the third. And suddenly that line with O'Reilly, Humphreys, Pridham, they came to life. McNeil got his second goal of the hockey game, and suddenly the Rangers took charge. So if you're the Barrie Colts, you can't let up, because this is a Rangers team that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, 2 teams that pride themselves on trying to have full 60 efforts, and 2 teams that are pretty strong in the third period here. And for Kitchener, they get that goal from McNeil, like you mentioned, in the third period the other night. And then after that, one thing Kitchener did really good the other night was feeding off the crowd and getting that momentum once they scored a goal. We saw it with their second goal even. They take the lead, they make it 2-1, crowd's rolling. Kitchener had Barrie hemmed in for a couple minutes, couldn't get the goal, and then we saw it in the third period. They get that third goal. It's 3-2, they're rolling, crowd's going, and they just kept adding on and kept firing on all cylinders and ended up getting that big goal to make it 4-2 and really put Barrie in a difficult spot.
And Retro Vinyl also saying anything can happen. Martin saying the road to the finals runs through Kitchener, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I'm assuming he's meaning, because I said Barrie would have home ice if they won tonight. All that means is that because Barrie won a game on the road, they now just need to win their home games to advance to the Memorial Cup. But yeah, the road to the finals runs through the Kitchener Rangers as of right now, and they're undefeated at the odd, and as long as they stay that way, they'll be heading off to the Memorial Cup.
And we've got more chants for their respective teams, Sonny Smith and Frank Black. And then we've got David Osborne saying, "Hey guys, big fan." David, we appreciate your comment there, your compliment.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, David. Frank Black says, "Barrie in 7 games." That's going to be interesting if the Colts have another 7-game series, because that Eastern Conference final with Brantford, that was a battle and a grind. And if this first 2 games of this series is any indication, Frank's prediction of 7 games may not be far off.
Yeah, it's the way these first 2 games have gone. I mean, I think maybe some of the box score watchers may have thought that it was all Kitchener in game number 1. That was pretty far from the truth. It was a tight game that got away from the Colts in that third period. And then here tonight, we've had another tight one. I thought Kitchener came out really strong to start the game, and you're kind of watching, you're like, uh-oh, is this going to get ugly? But Ben Horebic makes the first 6 saves of the game, and the Colts get back going, they get back into it, and Brad Gardner with a big goal there. And Barrie in 7 games, that's an interesting prediction, and certainly one that can happen. And just imagine the storylines. I mean, the Odd and the Brantford Civic Center, maybe the 2 best home environments this season. And that's Barrie to go in there and win back-to-back series in 7 games would be pretty electric.
That'd be wild. And Martin, a big Edwards fan. And Dylan Edwards, he's had quite the game. The speed that he brings, the scoring chances, the hockey sense. What a great pickup that was from the Erie Otters, says Dylan Edwards contributing. And that's why I'm not surprised there's Edwards fans here with this Rangers team.
Yeah, I remember him when we were down in Erie, and he didn't come off the ice that game, and he put in such a great effort. And here in Kitchener, he's really taken his game to another level. Back at the time that we saw him down in Erie, he was basically the only guy going for that offense. Everyone else had no points, and now he's on a Kitchener team where he's getting to play with guys like O'Reilly and Humphreys tonight, Romano and Pridham the other night, and it's taking his game to another level. I've seen so many Dylan Edwards highlights on social media throughout this postseason.
And Patrick Tracy saying Kitchener has the same goal song as the team that plays on top of a train station on West 33rd Street. For that reason, let's go H and win the cup and join the Isles. Go Colts. And Patrick is a big New York Islanders fan. And the interesting thing, if you're not familiar, this Kitchener Rangers team, they used to be owned by the New York Rangers. And then they sold the team to the community for $1. And because of that, they kept the Kitchener Rangers name. And that's why they really embrace the New York Rangers theme and whatnot. But if you're an Islanders fan, I can understand why you might not like that goal song.
Yeah, with the New York Rangers, they don't seem to pick Kitchener Rangers. They don't have a Rangers prospect right now. They do have a Barrie Colts prospect in Evan Passmore. In fact, the only New York-related Rangers guy would be Luca Romano of the New York Islanders system.
Yeah, and that's it's kind of surprising. Yeah, there wouldn't be more Rangers with the Rangers of the NHL. The players are on the ice so quickly. We'll get to another comment. Coffee household. Eliasson looks like he's enjoying himself so much tonight.
He's having fun, and he's been pretty physical. That one he probably shouldn't have done, the cross-checking call, but outside of that, Gabriel Eliasson has done a really good job sticking to his game throughout this postseason. He's only at 8 penalty minutes right now. That's what you're hoping out of a guy like that. I thought Game 7 may have been his best game in a Barrie Colts uniform. He was a complete shutdown defenseman, and that's what Ottawa's hoping he can turn into.
So we're getting ready for the third period. Let's get to those last two comments that I see. Frank says, I like Wilmot. Wilmot's been having another fantastic game. A great setup for Emil Hemming on that second goal. And Matt Stripe saying, who was your favorite Barrie Colt? I'm going to put that one to you, Josh.
I like whoever gives me a long interview.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to say, out of all the Colt players that I've dealt with, Bo Jelsma would be up there, and Mark Scheifele. There's one time when I was working for the Sudbury Wolves, I wanted to interview Scheifele, and he sent a different player out trying to pretend he was Scheifele. So I ended up getting my interview with Mark Scheifele, but he's got a bit of a sense of humor.
I had, earlier this year when London was in town, I was trying to interview Logan Howery, and someone else came out for the interview. We're like 10 seconds away, and I look at the number. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not Logan Howery.
So the third period underway, and the Barrie Colts are on the power play, brought to you by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. It is a 4-on-3 situation. Hemming drops it back to Aitchison. Between the leg pass, no one there for the Colts. Von Richter couldn't get there in time. Now it's a 2-on-1 shorthanded for Kitchener. Here's O'Reilly across, one-timer, scores! Carson Campbell with that shorthanded goal. And just like that, Kitchener has tied the game at 2.
Well, a huge shift in momentum there in favor of the Kitchener Rangers. Carson Campbell with a big goal. Here's the puck gets turned over, comes to the middle, and nice play to get around Von Richter, sets up the 2-on-1, and O'Reilly, you got to respect him. He fakes the shot, sends it across. Campbell left wide open. It looked like Wilmot tried to play off of O'Reilly. And Gene talked about the momentum that could come off of a power play goal here from Barrie, but it goes the other way with a short-handed marker.
So for Carson Campbell, that's his third of the playoffs. And that's now 5 shorthanded goals for Kitchener this playoffs as Aitchison's one-timer stopped by Kirsch. Puck's in the corner, the 4-on-3 continues, and the Rangers will clear it. And this building, it has come to life. Von Richter comes out from behind the net. He's going to drop it for Hemming. The 2 penalized players from before are on the ice, so it's back to a 5-on-4. Aitchison sends it around. Wilmot gets it in the near corner. Goes behind the Kitchener net. Barrie trying to move it quickly. Here's Aitchison. His pass off the skate. Back to line. Von Richter. Near side Hemming. Hemming waits. Fires. Stopped by Kirsch. Got a piece of it. Von Richter has it at the point. Up to Aitchison. Aitchison across to Hemming. Hemming waits. Passes it. Wilmot. What a save by Kirsch. Christian Kirsch with his biggest save of the night. He robbed Ben Wilmot. Puck goes back into the Barrie zone. Cole Emerton facing pressure here from Jack Pridham. Emerton up to Aitchison. 18 seconds left in the man advantage. Calvin Crombie skates to the neutral zone. Crombie takes it down low around the Kitchener net. Stays with it. Crombie passes it across, but getting a stick on it was O'Reilly. O'Reilly's going to skate after it shorthanded. He's 2-on-1 to Pridham. Hits the post. Kitchener nearly connected again shorthanded. The power play has expired. Now the Colts are going to come the other way. Puck's in the Ranger zone. Gardner sends it around. Back behind the Kitchener net. Delayed penalty. And it's a hook. And I believe it's going against the Barrie Colts.
Well, the Rangers couldn't ask for a better start to this period. You get the goal, get the crowd rolling. What a save by Christian Kirsch. Aitchison, a perfect pass to Hemming, sending it to the net. It gets deflected. And off the rebound, Wilmot denied. Rangers get another 2-on-1 opportunity. Pridham, wide open net, hits the post. Colts come back the other way, and it's Eamon Edgar behind the net. It's tied up there with Jared Woolley. It's called as a hook. And now the Kitchener power play goes to work with an opportunity to take the lead and get this crowd rolling again.
This Ranger team off to an amazing start in the third. As it's their second power play of the night, they're 0 for 1 on the man advantage already, as O'Reilly's going to take the face-off, taking some instructions here up against Brad Gardner. Face-off won by the Rangers. Humphreys trying to play it. Getting a stick on it is Von Richter. Von Richter trying to send it around. There's Gardner. Around the boards it goes. Pridham catches it on the far side. His pass off a skate. At the blue line, it's Reed to Humphreys. Christian Humphreys off the point, down low. Quickly back. There's a shot from Reed, and that's on goal. And stopped by Hrebeck.
Good look there for Kitchener. Cameron Reed from the point. Just like that Brantford power play last series, just 5 really good players out on the ice right now for the Kitchener Rangers. Sam O'Reilly leading the charge, 15 goals in the postseason.
Power play down to a minute 40 now for Kitchener. They win the face-off. Here's Humphreys. Loads up, side of the goal. Edwards trying to tuck it around. That doesn't work. Back to the blue line for Kitchener. Humphreys across. Pridham to Reed. Quick pass back to Pridham. One-timer stopped by Hrebeck. Pridham gets to the loose puck. Zabeski takes it away, and the Colts will get it down the ice. 1:17 left in the penalty to Eamon Edgar. Rangers take it out from behind their own net. It's Cameron Reed. Reaching forward is Gardner. Reed's going to skate it into the attacking zone. Takes the shot. That goes wide. O'Reilly sends it to an open wing. Pridham back behind the net for Edwards. That's knocked away from him by Lowe. Pridham gets it again. He's tied up. Gardner finds it. He'll clear it. 50 seconds still to go in the power play here for the Rangers as they regroup back in their own zone. The tied hockey game, 2 apiece. The latest goal scorer coming from the Kitchener Rangers was Carson Campbell. That was a shorthanded goal as that's going to come across. Rangers lose it. Hemming's going to clear it down the ice. Edgar ready to come out of the penalty box in 24 seconds. Rangers get it back behind their own net. Making the move there was Bilecki. Bilecki carries it in. His pass blocked by Wilmot. Rangers still with it. Bilecki's shot blocked in front. Getting in the way was Aitchison. Puck to the line, but the Rangers can't get to it. Edgar ready to come out of the penalty box as Lamb skates it in. Tanner Lamb forced to peel back. Lamb turns it over to Eliasson. Edgar's out of the box. Eliasson skates this one ahead over to Edgar. Edgar takes the shot. Blocker saved by Kirsch. Schneid trying to play it. Tied up there by Sherratt. Bilecki finds it. He'll send it across. Rangers move it forward. Andonovski. They'll dump this one in off the end boards. Eliasson didn't get all that. Here's Tanner Lamb. Sends it over to the point. Andonovski loses it. Takes the shot. It's loose to the side of the net. The Colts collect it. Wilmot sends this one over. Reaching for it is Newton. Andonovski loses it. Newton can't find it. Schneid up to Newton. Newton, he's taken into the boards. Sherratt sends this one around. Romano can't get it out of the zone. Rugby scrum on the far side. Rangers trying to get it out of the zone. They will. Puck's in the neutral zone. Justin Hanser at his own blue line. Hanser chips that one off the boards back into Kitchener territory as we're now past the 5-minute mark of the third period. Kitchener outshooting Barrie 31-21. Arquette on the wing to the net. Takes the shot, and Hrebeck got a piece of it as Cameron Reed with that opportunity.
Yeah, good work there by Reed, stepping up in the play. He's able to sneak by Justin Hanser. Coming through, and good look there by Kitchener. Had a couple good looks. Big block by Aitchison on Luca Romano a couple minutes ago, and there, nice pass from Arquette. Up against the boards, gets it to Reed, who is sneaking in, and big save again by Hrebeck.
Face-off will come to the left of Ben Hrebeck. Gardner's going to take the draw up against Hayden Ellis. Well, Gardner actually is going to get tossed out. So Calvin Crombie gets ready to take the face-off this time against Ellis. Face-off won by the Colts. Von Richter sends it around. Gardner on the far side. Gets a skate on it to the line and out. Desiderio gives chase. Puck comes back to the Ranger blue line. Campbell skates it back behind his own net. Campbell with the game-tying goal. He'll send it over. Rangers moving ahead. Here's Arquette at center ice. Across, trying to get a stick on it is Ellenis. Ellenis takes the hit from Von Richter. Desiderio up to Crombie. Near side now at center. That's Brad Gardner. He's going to dump this one in. Puck goes to the far side. Campbell chips it into the corner. Ellenis turns it over. Zabeski shot wide of the net. Behind the goal, Crombie passes it instead of trying the wraparound, and the Rangers recover. Reed's going to send it back to his own defense. Both teams will make changes. Jared Woolley coming back to pick it up here for Kitchener. Woolley taking his time, trying to set things up here for the Rangers on their breakout. Sherratt receives the pass, flips this one ahead. Into the zone it goes. O'Reilly around the boards. Edwards back behind the net. Sherratt. O'Reilly trying to keep it away from Passmore. Gets it back to the point. Antonovsky's shot blocked by Wilmot. In front, tipped wide of the net. That was Sherratt parked on the doorstep. Hemmick sends it back into the corner. Sherratt's there for the Rangers. Sherratt skates it around the perimeter. There's a Ranger in the net. Play continues. Zabeski there to take it away. And then Zabeski takes a hard hit. Puck comes back to the line. Hemming didn't see it. Colts trying to clear it. Hemming picks it up. He'll get it out. He's got Zabeski with them. Hemming waits and lost the handle. Hemming, though, gets it back into the corner. Drops it back, but that's picked off by Gabe Sherratt. Sherratt sends this one across to Edwards. Edwards skates this one in at his pocket, picked by Hemming. Puck sent back to the neutral zone. Bilecki tried to hit Wilmot. Wilmot's got low to the net, passes it. Low off the post. Carter Lowe strikes iron after a beautiful pass by Wilmot. Puck's going back into the Barrie zone. Rangers give chase. Bilecki, he's run into the boards there by Eliasson. Puck's in front. Newton gives it up to Schneid. Schneid's going to go for a skate. He's got Newton going to the net. Schneid trying to get a stick on it. He's held up, rolls to the net, and that's going to be held onto by Kirsch. My, oh my, the chances at both ends of the ice have been incredible.
Both sides with some great opportunities here already. Great pass by Wilmot, flips it over top there. Over to Carter Lowe, but he hits it right off the post. Sherratt was the only one back there as well for Kitchener. Not even a defender. Great opportunity, and then there Schneid gets tied up. Just great effort there by Newton. Gets it loose out front of the net, and then Colts go back the other way, and Newton and Schneid both using their speed to create an odd-man rush. And it's obviously a big penalty kill by the Barrie Colts, because at that point, the crowd was absolutely rocking multiple times already to start this period, but they get through it. Now they've gone to the TV timeout, chance to reset. 12-13 to go now in this game.
It has been an entertaining game here tonight. Both teams going back and forth. Kitchener trying to go back to Barrie with a 2-0 series lead, while the Colts desperate to get the split on the road at the odd. And both teams have struck iron here tonight. We saw Pridham in the first period, and then now Carter Lowe in the third. It's just a game of inches.
Oh, they've came so close multiple times tonight. Both sides have, and a couple great saves as well by Kirsch and Hrebeck. When you think back to the start of the game, the way Hrebeck played, you think back to that first period, Kirsch with that huge save on William Schneid. Schneid can't wait to get a goal this series. He's played some great hockey so far. He's had some good opportunities, but every good opportunity he gets, Christian Kirsch makes his best save of the night.
Well, that's the thing about this series. People weren't really talking about the goaltending. Everyone was talking about the offense and the defense, but no one really gave credit to the goaltending match here tonight. Both Hrebeck and Kirsch have been outstanding, and that's why this game right now, it's tied at 2.
Well, we talk about it a lot with Ben Hrebeck as well, where he's not on some of these lists, and Central Scouting, he's very low. And a couple months ago, the OHL posted a thing about the World Junior team for Canada if it was just OHL players. There was a couple goalies there that's like, really, that guy's better than Ben Hrebeck, but he keeps reminding people, it seems like every night, and hopefully at least one NHL team is listening or watching, because He's put in a great effort over the last 2 years and struggled a bit in the playoffs last year, and you wonder if maybe that made some people a bit hesitant, but he's come back this year, had an amazing effort. And then Kirsch on the other side, the Sharks prospect, he's been the guy all year for Kitchener, and he's continued to be that throughout the postseason.
Face off to the left of Kirsch. 12-13 left to go in this third period. Scrambled draw. Puck goes to the boards. Brad Gardner's there. Gardner trying to send it around. That was blocked. Rangers get it out. Pridham picks off the Colt pass. Has it inside the Ranger blue line. He's going to skate it back in front of his own net. Campbell takes the hit from Gardner. It's in the skates of Crombie. Picked off by Pridham. Pridham skates it in for Kitchener. Hits the brakes. His shot stopped by Hrebeck. A big rebound. Gardner will get it out. Emerton dumps this one into the zone, and now it's going to be an icing call against the Barrie Colts.
Thought Emerton had an opportunity there to step up and go down the ice, but he tried to just chip it down and maybe didn't realize he wasn't past the red line there. Obviously coming off the TV timeout, not really about tired bodies, but maybe a missed opportunity there for the Colts.
Face off now to the left of Hrebeck. Gardner set to take the draw against Hayden Ellis. Or actually, that's O'Reilly. Face off won by O'Reilly. Campbell's going to send it around. Sam O'Reilly has it poked away by Emerton. Aitchison sends it up the wing. Desiderio can't get it by Campbell. Carson Campbell keeps it in. That's going to go back behind the Colts net. There's Aitchison up the wing. Crombie can't get to it, but that pass from Sherratt, that's going to go all the way back into his own zone. Campbell back to pick it up here for the Rangers. Sherratt on the far side, dumps it in. Colts pick it up. Tayshaun Aitchison. He'll skate it out, reaches center. Aitchison on goal. Kirsch decides to play it right away. Woolley comes out from behind the net, being chased by Zabeski. Jared Woolley reaches the neutral zone, passes over to Edwards. His pass blocked by Passmore. Puck goes behind the Barrie net. Colts collect it. Ben Wilmot flips this one across to Hemming. Emil Hemming skates this one in for Barrie. That's knocked off his tape. That was Andonovski who took it. Rangers move it around. At the point, Arquette. That's taken away by Eliasson. He'll send it right back behind the Kitchener goal. Hemming gives chase, gets to it first. Trying to keep it away from Andonovski. Alanis will find it. And the Rangers clear. Out to center. Colts trying to bat it ahead. Von Richter can't get it by Alanis. That's going to go to the far corner. Luke Alanis trying to send it around. He's got Hemming on him. Passmore behind the net. Loses the handle, side of the goal. And Hrebeck not taking any chances, covers it. But then we've got Eliasson taking down a pair of Rangers. No penalty out of this, but Gabriel Eliasson just clearing the zone.
Yeah, him and Von Richter, their tag team, Luke Ellis. Eliasson takes down Arquette, and then Ellis tries to jam away, and they both go after, and the official says, okay, stop, then nothing more. We'll let you get away with that, but don't touch him again. And looks like Patrick Sexton trying to have words with the officials about something there, but for Barrie, looks like they've gone down to 3 lines. Haven't seen McCormick or Vader this period, and haven't seen much of Eamon Edgar since taking that penalty.
Well, it's desperate times here with 10-12 left to go in the third period. Big face-off now to the right of Ben Hrebeck. Schneid's going to take the draw here up against Luca Romano. Well, Romano's actually going to be tossed out. So Humphreys will take it instead up against Schneid. Face-off won by the Colts. Eliasson's going to take it around the boards. Up ahead, Lowe gets it out to center, collected by Reed. Rangers go back in front of their own net. Campbell behind his own goal. Kitchener regrouping as we're past the midway point of the period. Carson Campbell reaches the neutral zone, sends it in, delayed offside, and that'll get touched. And that face-off will come outside the Barrie blue line.
Kitchener doing a good job shutting down Barrie right now. Couple offensive zone draws here. Haven't really done much with them though, so Barrie's done a good job in return. And over the halfway point now, and it's been a tight one. Still 2-2, and for Barrie, love to come out of it with a win here. Take home ice back, but the same time, you've put in 2 really good efforts here at the odds. So if Kitchener does go and win this game, you can't panic and try and get away from your game in game number 3 and start to panic, because it's been 2 tight games, and at the end of the day, it's looking like it could be a tight 1-goal difference here tonight.
It's been a much better third period here tonight, though, for the Barrie Colts. As remember, it was 2-2 going to the third in game 1, and then the Rangers just took over and dominated the play and ended up winning that one by a score of 5-2. This Colts team right now just digging deep. Despite giving up that shorthanded goal, they've been generating chances and keeping things pretty close.
Yeah, that start of the period, though, it looked pretty sketchy. I mean, you give up the shorthanded goal, then you have a power play opportunity, and huge save from Kirsch, and then Kitchener comes back the other way, 2-on-1 again. They hit the post, then they get a power play as well. And Barrie, though, they did a good job calming down after that, getting back to their game, and not letting the crowd and the momentum from Kitchener take over this game like they did in the third period in game number 1.
Right now, we're just waiting for the TV timeout to wrap up. Keishon Aitchison sitting down on the edge of the bench. You know he's going to be going over the boards. 9 times out of 10, coming out of the TV timeout, Aitchison's out there, as he logged the most minutes in game number 1 in the series. And when we saw that post, didn't really surprise us.
Yeah, no, I wish that got released for games 5, 6, and 7 of that Barrie Brantford series, because he was all over the ice, especially in game 5 and 6. Obviously, in game 7, it kind of got out of hand in favor of Barrie there in the third, and you started being able to rest him a bit more. But game 5 and 6, he didn't leave the ice in the third period and overtime.
So face-off coming outside the Barrie blue line. Wilmot to take the draw, but Sherratt and Zabeski keep encroaching them. Now they're tied up. They'll drop the puck, and away we go. Evan Passmore up ahead to Hemming. Hemming's pass out of the reach of Wilmot. Rangers with it in their own zone. Sherratt on the near side. Sherratt enters the zone. He'll dump this one in for Kitchener. Evan Passmore behind his net, sends it around. Hemming trying to get it out, gets the line, and that bounces off Hemming and down the ice. Cameron Reed back to play it for the Rangers, goes to Woolley. Andonovski. That one's taken away by Aitchison in front of Wilmot. Wilmot settles it down, then it was knocked off his tape, and the Rangers get it out. That's going to go down the ice. Not enough for icing. Passmore has to play it. Passmore's going to send it around. There's Hemming on the far side. Hemming to Zabeski. Zabeski runs into the Ranger player. That's Cameron Reed. Reed will receive the pass, puts it back behind the net for Campbell. Campbell up to O'Reilly. Sam O'Reilly across, carrying it in is Edwards. Edwards has that batted away by Hanser. Puck's in the far corner. Von Richter comes up with it. Ben Wilmot flips it ahead. That's going to escape the zone. Campbell's there for Kitchener. Puck goes back into the Ranger zone. Edwards on the far side. His dump in goes off a Colt. Into the near corner for Von Richter. Up to Carter Lowe. Lowe sends us across to Schneid. Schneid on the far side hits the brakes, trying to keep it away from Reed. Campbell takes behind his own net. Newton on the forecheck. Lowe throws the hit. Rangers pick it up, send it to the line and out. Von Richter with the hit. Puck's in front of the Ranger bench. Ellis sends this one back. Skating it ahead is Reed on the far wing. Carries it in. Reed with a shot. Stopped by Horevic. Puck comes around. Carter Lowe drops it back. Von Richter up ahead. Schneid gets a stick on it. He's able to send it deep. Bilecki will come back to play it here for the Rangers. Under 8 minutes remaining. We're almost getting to that point where it feels like the next goal wins. Pridham flips this one in the air across. Humphreys gets under it. Sticks tied up. And they're going to call this a glove-to-head pass, so the face-off will come to center.
Someone in the chat said they know someone that has access to the stats. Aitchison had 42-36 in Game 5 and 40-42 in Game 6. That sounds about right.
Yeah, because it felt like he never left the ice, especially in the later stages.
Obviously, it was a bit more than 60 minutes in both games, but pretty much no more than about 70, and he was out there for 40 minutes. Man, that's over half the game.
Yeah, that's unreal. And I expect as this series goes on, expect Aitchison's numbers to keep climbing up. as the Rangers trying to get out of the zone. That pass was picked off. Desiderio's there along the boards. Gardner at the point, passes it over to Emerton. Cole Emerton taken to the boards by Humphreys. Puck's loose. Crombie trying to get to it. Crombie will kick it to the corner, but it's picked up by the Rangers. Down to 7 minutes remaining now in this hockey game. Both teams making changes. The crowd trying to get the Rangers going. As Kitchener has it back behind their own net. Jared Woolley passes this one ahead. Near side, here's O'Reilly skating up the wing. Sam O'Reilly to the corner, takes the shot, kicked aside by Hrebeck. There's a rebound, another chance, Hrebeck the save. And he's gonna cover it up, as that was Woolley who fired it. Now he's gonna generate a crowd, as we're starting to see more of these extracurriculars after the whistles.
Well, that's the thing is with Brantford, Ottawa, and Niagara, those rivalries kind of develop throughout the season. These two teams, not much of a rivalry there throughout the season. I mean, Bodo and Aitchison and Hemming all weren't a part of the game at the Odd. And obviously a lot of guys acquired in trades that weren't a part of either game this season, so not really any room to make rivalries between these two teams, whereas Brantford, it felt like those two teams hated each other by January.
Well, that's the thing about the OHL final. When you get the two teams from opposite conferences, it's a feeling out process to really get that matchup and that rivalry to build. And right now we got a face-off to the right of Hrebeck, won by the Rangers. Puck's at the point. That shot blocked by Hemming. And that's going to go out of play, so we'll try this face-off once more.
Barrie right now, only 22 shots, and it's been sitting on 22 for a while. Got to start getting some opportunities here on Christian Kirsch. They've been able to get 2 on 22, and you need shots if you want to score.
Face-off won by the Colts, sends it behind the net. Aitchison sends it around. Zabeski sends it deep. Hemming trying to beat out the icing, he will. Hemming takes the hit from Woolley. Puck's in the far corner. Edwards takes the hit from Zabeski. Zabeski sends it back to the point, but O'Reilly was there, and the Rangers move it up. O'Reilly sends it across. Aitchison, first one on it, bats it back to the Kitchener blue line. Woolley over to Andonovski. And at center, Colts trying to take it away. Andonovski recovers. Skates it in for Kitchener. He just wants to send it in and go off for a change. Aitchison all the way over to Von Richter on the far side. His pass deflected. Rangers get it again inside their blue line. Sherratt can't get it to go too far. Elias into Von Richter, up ahead to Schneid. Schneid at center ice, trying to play it. Backhand pass to Lowe, he's gonna dump it in. Kirsch out of his net to play it. He'll send this one around. Alanis got a stick on it, can't get it out, kept in by Schneid. Schneid fans on the shot attempt, ends up going back behind the Kitchener net. Von Richter gives it to Newton. Jaden Newton digs it free. Von Richter still down low. Rangers recover, and it's going to be Lamb who will skate it out. Lamb into the attacking zone, sends it across to Ellis, and he fanned on the shot attempt. Puck kept in at the point by Reed. Rangers putting on more pressure. Alanis, here's Campbell, back to Reed. Reed waits, trying to get away from Newton. Newton reaches for it. Reed falls, his shot stopped by Hrebeck. And Hrebeck's going to hold on with exactly 5 minutes left to go in the third period.
Yeah, good look there from Kitchener as it was Ellis that got loose. Got free of William Schneid there and had an opportunity, but couldn't get it clean on his stick. That broke up that opportunity. Barrie had some offensive zone time there with the third line, but not able to get anything on net on Christian Kirsch. Entering the final 5 minutes of this one, and it's been tight, but that shot clock's starting to heavily get in favor of the Kitchener Rangers as this game goes on.
Well, for Kitchener, they seem to be very comfortable just taking the puck back into their own zone, setting things up, and letting the play develop. And they're waiting for the Colts to come at them and try and force the play. And it seems to be working because once Barrie comes in towards them, they're able to get that breakout and get a quick chance.
Yeah, Barrie, obviously they love playing that forecheck game, but hasn't helped them too much here this period. Kitchener, they've had a really good period again, and that's 2 straight third periods that Kitchener's really taken control. The only difference this time, they came in down by 1, and they've only got 1 goal.
So shots 37-22 for Kitchener. 5 minutes to go in this hockey game, tied at 2 apiece. Tayshaun Aitchison again ready to get out there when they drop the puck. The faceoff will come to the right of Ben Hrebeck. So Dylan Smoskowitz right now calling everybody over. They're huddled up at the bench, taking advantage of this TV timeout. But for the Barrie Colts, trying to dig deep here after seeing their 1-goal lead disappear with that shorthanded marker from Campbell.
Obviously, the longer TV timeouts that we talked about, they're able to take advantage of that and get everyone together. And be interesting to hear what Dylan Smoskowitz had to say there, trying to rally his group, get them back going here in this third period. And it's one of those things where if this game keeps going or Kitchener wins here in the third period, you kind of forget about. But if Barrie could get something here in the next 5 minutes and win this game, it's probably the first question is, Coach, what'd you say to the group there?
That could be the turning point of the hockey game, is that pep talk from Dylan Smoskowitz. We'll see if it pays off. Face off to the right of Hrebeck. Gardner in to take the draw. Up against Romano. Scrambled draw, ends up in the corner. Aitchison there to pick it up. Aitchison sends it ahead. Desiderio chips to the line, can't get it by Campbell. Puck goes back behind the Colts net. Reed chasing after it. Puck goes back behind the Barrie net. Here's Arquette trying to set up in front. That's off the stick of the Ranger player, and the Colts will get it out. Campbell back to his own zone. Desiderio picks off the pass. Nicholas Desiderio passes this one ahead, but Crombie can't keep it. Humphreys, he's going to go for a skate now for the Rangers. Christian Humphreys around the net, tries the wraparound, but Hrebeck gets across in time. Desiderio gives it up to Gardner, sends it forward, and that's going to be an icing call against the Colts. As Christian Humphreys, that great chance, but Hrebeck got across in time.
Christian Humphreys, the way he plays, you wouldn't know he's a 7th round pick in the NHL draft. The Colorado Avalanche got to be pretty happy with him, and great look there. And that's the exciting thing as you get deep into the playoffs, conference finals, into the finals. You know, there's so many guys that all it takes is one look for them here, and they've got a great opportunity to take the lead.
Face-off won by the Rangers. Puck sent to the corner, knocked down by Gardner. He's going to flip it down the ice. Won't be enough for icing. Wooley's going to pick it up. His pass reaches O'Reilly. He's going to hit the brakes near side, and his pass is picked off by Hemming. Hemming gets it ahead for Gardner. Gardner up to Hemming. Hemming takes the hit. That was Edwards delivering that check. Hemming broke his stick in the process, so he has to get a new twig. Colts can't keep it in the offensive end. Von Richter passes it up. That goes off the skate of O'Reilly and deep into the Ranger zone. Rangers will send it around. Sherratt waits for it. Flips it in the air, down the ice. Back to pick it up is Parker Von Richter. Von Richter across to Eliasson. Eliasson tipped into the zone by Zabeski, so no icing. Rangers back to pick it up in their own zone. Woolley up to Lamb. Lamb trying to send it back. Rangers get it out. Edwards will dump it in. Back behind the Barrie net it goes. Eliasson trying to get a stick on it. Lamb gets to it first. Backhand pass to Ellis. But that's taken away. Wilmot, his pass goes off Aitchison, and the Rangers regroup. Up ahead to Lamb. Lamb hits the brakes, takes to the far side. Down low to Elenis. Elenis behind the Barrie net. Gets to the corner, back to the blue line. Campbell takes the shot. Stop, rebound, no. Hrebeck holds on, and then Tayshaun Aitchison ends up on top of Luke Elenis. There's going to be a penalty here, and I believe it's going against Tayshaun Aitchison, so not the time you want to be taking a penalty.
2:50 to go. The rest of the players are coming back over and fighting the red line. Did they get both of them? No, it's just going to be Aitchison. Gotta watch your discipline. Probably got away with that first shot, but then Aitchison delivering that finishing blow. Get another look. Campbell with the shot from the point, the save made, and Aitchison dumps him. And yeah, then that extra shot. Can't be doing that. Kitchener's got an opportunity. Really good power play. They're 0 for 2, but a chance at the win now.
Well, I get that for Aitchison. He was frustrated about Elenis making contact with Ben Hrebeck, but You got to keep your cool. You can't be taking those extra shots. And now the Rangers a chance to get a power play goal late. Humphreys from the half boards takes it to the corner. Back to the line. Here's Cameron Reed. Reed rides the blue line, sends it over. Near point, that pass is blocked by Gardner. Humphreys gets a stick on it, trying to send it around. Reed at the blue line. Reed up ahead to Humphreys. Humphreys waits, fires, and scores! Christian Humphreys picks off the corner, and the Rangers, they have their first lead of the night. It's 3-2.
Well, we just talked about how you got to be disciplined. Best, one of the better power plays in the OHL. And the Kitchener Rangers take advantage. Cameron Reed on the point, gets it to Humphreys. He just slides through the middle there. None of the Colts able to get a touch on it. And he's able to beat Hrebeck going upstairs. And now Barrie's got 2:26 still to go. Haven't had a shot in a while. They're gonna need a few of them here if they want to tie the game.
But what a shot from Christian Humphreys. That's his 8th of the playoffs. And the Rangers take advantage of the Kayshawn Aitchison penalty. And it's now 3-2. So for the Colts, they got to dig deep if they're going to tie this game. Face-off won by Barrie. Kayshawn Aitchison over to Emerton. Emerton up ahead to Crombie. Crombie trying to get it in, blocked by Woolley. Delayed offside, but they're going to blow the play dead with 2:16 left. And this building, it has erupted.
Yeah, the crowd really going now. Obviously, this Kitchener fan base really electric. Friday nights at the Odd is their specialty, and this is the last one of the year. It's neither their home games. Penalty, though, coming to Kitchener now.
They're going to call a high stick. Made contact on Mason Zabeski. It's going to be a 4-minute double minor. So Gabe Sherratt is going off for 4 minutes for high sticking. So the Barrie Colts have been given a gift here, as they're going to go on the power play to finish off this third period.
Oh, what a turning point here in this one. Well, that 4-minute. Let's take another look off the face-off. And it's that stick lift. Goes up into Zabeski. The Colts have an opportunity now. Remember, 4 minutes. They could tie it, and then they can take the lead as well.
Face-off won by the Rangers in this Barrie Colts power play, presented by Frontline Hockey Apparel. You can find them at frontlinehockeyapparel.com. Wilmot sends it behind the Kitchener net. Hrebeck is still in his goal. 2 minutes left in the period. Von Richter keeps it in, and then the shot blocked. That'll escape. Von Richter inside his own blue line. He's going to send it back to Hemming.
Moskowitz has his hand up.
Hemming, he's going to skate it in, passes up to Aitchison. Puck got away. Woolley clears it. Puck's at center ice. Gardner with possession. Brad Gardner gives it up to Wilmot. Ben Wilmot skates it in on the wing. Wilmot takes it down low. Behind the Kitchener net, keeps it away from Woolley. The net's come off. And now we'll get the whistle as Gardner crashed into the net. And I think they're taking this face-off out of the zone.
The Colts aren't a fan of the call, but puck knocked back out the other way. And obviously that ends Barrie's opportunity there. Wilmot did a good job circling around. And now the officials are going to head over and discuss this to decide whether or not it should remain in the zone or not. And I think we might get a timeout as well.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out where exactly should this face-off be, because Brad Gardner crashed into the net. And it was bumped by Andonovski. But the Barrie Colts, they have called the timeout, so they're going to try and figure this out. Where should the face-off go? And I believe it may still be coming outside the Kitchener blue line, but a big moment here if the Barrie Colts are going to get in this game. They got to capitalize on this man advantage and expect Ben Horevic to be on the bench.
Yeah, you're going to go 6-on-5 here, and big opportunity for Barrie, but both sides getting an explanation. I think the faceoff's coming back into the Kitchener zone. That's where the officials are going, and Chase Reed was the one, or Cameron Reed was the one looking for an explanation. And Horevic's going to stay in for now. 127. No, they got 6 guys out there. They bit of confusion.
Horevic was just going for a stroll. That's all.
For a skate. Carter Lowe will come out. You know he's going to be the net front presence. Kayshawn Aitchison yet to score. Obviously disappointing to take that penalty. Big opportunity for him here to get some revenge.
Face off the left of Kirsch. Gardner taking the draw. It's won by the Colts. Back to the line, Von Richter. Von Richter to Aitchison. Aitchison down low. Here's Wilmot. His shot's in the crease. They jam at it. Still loose. It bounces over the net. Gardner trying to get to it. Wilmot along the boards. Kitchener trying to kill the clock. 1:12 left in this hockey game. Lowe sends it around to Aitchison at the far point. Over to Von Richter. Near for Hemming. Hemming down low. Quick pass. Lowe puts it wide. Hemming trying to put it back into the crease. Final minute of play. Von Richter to Hemming. Hemming's shot blocked in front. Rangers get to it, and they're going to send it down the ice. And with it being a power play for Barrie, they can ice it. So the Colts come back. Von Richter leaves it for Hemming. 40 seconds remaining. Wilmot skates it in for the Colts. He'll send it around the boards. Woolley, first one on it, bounces off of him. Andonovski gets the line not out, kept in by Von Richter, and then the Colts kept it in. Now the Rangers put it down the ice. Empty net. Von Richter gets foot first. He'll hammer this one around. Wilmot at the Ranger blue line goes to Aitchison. Aitchison up the middle, and he sends it to the corner. Hemming passes this back. One-timer blocked by Woolley. Another chance. One-timer stopped by Kirsch. Colts keep it in. 8 seconds. At the point, Wilmot fires, stop, rebound. Again, side the net, scores! Kayshawn Aitchison with 3.6 seconds left on the clock. Kayshawn Aitchison, the hero here. As Kitchener, they were diving everywhere to keep it out. But Kayshawn Aitchison, Captain Clutch, has tied this game at 3.
What a finish. Couple great blocks. Aitchison's one-timer blocked as well. What a keep by Ben Wilmot to keep it in the zone. Just steps up and shoots it, and it's Kirsch again, robbing Brad Gardner there. A great save, but the puck comes loose, and Kayshawn Aitchison is there. And like I said, you got to be disciplined, and coming off the penalty there by Aitchison, he comes back, gets a big goal. And with 3 seconds to go, they haven't confirmed it yet. Nope, thumbs up. And it looks like we're not done yet.
What a game here tonight. But that goal came after the first 2 minutes of the power play expired, so there won't be a power play going into overtime as the Colts win the draw and take it back. And we've had so much fun tonight. Let's have a little overtime in the OHL final, game number 2.
Well, it didn't look like, well, it looked like we were going to go to overtime. Then it looked like we weren't going to go to overtime. And then Barrie there at the end, just throw everything at the net, see what happens. And credit to Kitchener, some great shot blocking there. That looked like that was going to be the story coming out of it, was the Kitchener penalty kill with some huge shot blocks. But Barrie, they find a way to get that game-tying goal. And Kitchener, I mean, they did everything they could. Couple huge shots, great opportunity for Gardner. What a save by Kirsch. And then when basically Kitchener had nothing left to do, Kayshawn Aitchison right there for the rebound.
Well, you have to also give credit to Ben Wilmot, because when the Colts had it deep in the zone, that was that desperate pass. Von Richter up the ice trying to get it. And if Wilmot didn't knock it down at the blue line, that would have been an icing call against the Barrie Colts. So great hand-eye from Wilmot to get it in the zone, and then the scramble. Aitchison, Captain Clutch, that's what we've called him in the past, and he comes through with 3.6 seconds remaining. And now we get some overtime here at the odd, and Aitchison skating over right now to do an interview at the sideline, and the fans, I think they figured out you have to boo Aitchison.
Yeah, it's quickly become clear to Kayshawn Aitchison, or sorry, not Kayshawn Aitchison, the Kitchener Ranger fans, what happens when you play Kayshawn Aitchison. You got to boo him, and man, we've seen so many clutch goals from Kayshawn Aitchison over the years, and he just keeps adding to them. I mean, 6 game winners in the regular season and a franchise record among all defensemen. He's had the most game winners. Obviously, that one wasn't a game winner, but there's no stat online for game-tying goals in the OHL at least. But for Barrie there, you find a way, you get it to overtime. You've got life now. And Colts, they look pretty good in overtime in round 3, but Kitchener Rangers, they've had some good overtime games as well in the conference finals.
Well, this is a different animal. The Kitchener Rangers, they have yet to lose a game on home ice. And right now that record potentially on the line. So we're going to take a break so we can drink some water, get our voices ready for overtime because we're not done. So it's a 3-3 hockey game. After 60 minutes, we're going to have some overtime in just a few minutes. But you can have a conversation amongst yourselves, and when we come back, we will read some of those comments, as it's 3-3 here from the odd between the Colts and the Rangers. Well, this has been quite the game, and we're not done yet. We have to do a little overtime here tonight. My wife texted, she's saying maybe we should have packed an overnight bag and we could have stayed at my parents' place.
That's a good idea.
We should have thought of that.
We should have thought of that.
But that's, that's
We're
my
still
wife.
going
She's
to
the one
Pepe's, right?
I hope so.
It
They should be open.
It closes at 2, I checked.
Oh, good.
Good.
Oh, good.
So we've got, what do we got, like 4 hours? Yeah, so just end it before like the 6th overtime and we should be good.
Please don't say that. Anyways, I've noticed the chat alive and well, and we got both Colt fans and Ranger fans. I like seeing the chants going back and forth. I'm glad to see the chat is civil and having fun here tonight. Also notice we have a listener from Mississippi.
Oh.
I noticed that as the chat was flying past. So hello to Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people weren't big fans of the spamming in the chat, but that's fun. We love to have fun here, and we try and remain neutral, and it doesn't matter who you cheer for. You should be allowed to come on here and get to watch junior hockey because it's a kids game at the end of the day, and should all have fun. And maybe not go that far, but yeah, it's been a fun environment all year in the chat, and as the year goes on and more people get to know about this and more people tune in as well, obviously, and it's been a great environment all year long, and it's gotten better as the season's gone on.
Now let's just watch the language. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Let's just keep
Let's
it.
just calm down.
Let's keep it civil. But anyways, we are getting ready for overtime here between the Colts and the Rangers. What a game this has been here tonight, as the Rangers off to a hot start in that third period. Barrie was up 2-1. The Colts had a power play, but it was Campbell. Ties it up short-handed, no less. And suddenly you could sense everything was shifting here for the Kitchener Rangers. They started to take control, and then that 3-2 score on the power play, Christian Humphreys, and it felt like at that point the Rangers had it. But another penalty, the double minor on the high stick, and the Colts take advantage. 3.6 seconds remaining, and Kayshawn Aitchison gets the winner.
Yeah, and because it's being spammed now, we can't show the game. It's not allowed. It's illegal. Can't do that. We'll get fired. Yeah, we can't show the game. Anyway, what was your question again? Oh, right, about the third period pretty much, right?
Yeah, because Kitchener was in control for most of that third period there. But then at the end, 3.6 seconds remaining, that's what did it. Aitchison tying it, and now we're going to get some overtime here at the odd.
Yeah, it's, until that Humphreys goal, it really felt like this series, the story for Kitchener had been those depth guys. Barrie had done a good job shutting down O'Reilly's and Humphreys and Pridham's. But it was those other guys getting the job done. Campbell, a guy with 2 goals this postseason. You got Gabe Sherrod, a guy with 3 goals this postseason. McNeil, he's a guy with 2 goals in his career, and he scores 2 goals in game number 1. I mean, that's just hockey. I mean, you can come into a series and think, hey, as long as we shut down this guy, and that guy, you're good. And then you shut down those guys, and 5 other guys score in their place. That's the best part about hockey. And for Barrie there, obviously, it's tough to give up that late goal in Christian Humphreys, but obviously you get a break with the penalty, and all of a sudden you install that mindset, hey, we're not done here. We've got an opportunity. The power play, it's been a bit shaky since Cole Baudouin has been out for this Barrie Colts team, and so much of the power play was driven by Cole Baudouin. He was the guy always handling the puck, skating around, and it's made it a different looking power play for a guy like Emil Hemming. We saw a lot in the regular season and in the first 2 rounds. Emil Hemming was the guy that kind of just sat in his spot and loaded up for the one-timers. But now Emil Hemming has to be more of a puck mover compared to what Cole Baudouin was doing for this Barrie Colts power play.
And it's going to be interesting to see how the overtime plays out here, especially for the Colts, because they had 2 overtime winners against the Brantford Bulldogs. Games 5 and 6 needed extra time. And the game 6 in Barrie, that was a game where it was dominated by the Brantford Bulldogs. Put out over 50 shots, and even in that overtime, I believe the shots were 10-0. And then Mason Zabeski was the overtime hero. It's just those quick breaks. So you just never know in the overtime period. You might have a team that's clearly dominating in the possession game, but it's just one break. And, for Kitchener giving up that late goal, it's going to be interesting to see how do they go into this overtime period after now giving up 2 late goals in this game, the one at the end of the first period and then now one at the end of the third, which ultimately forced overtime.
Yeah, and that can be pretty demotivating. I mean, Kitchener, you know, obviously they're probably coming out and they're going to put out their best effort forward, and you got to regroup. But obviously it's in their minds thinking, we had this game won, and we dominated that third period, and we weren't giving up any opportunities to this Colts team, and they go and they tie it. That can be pretty deflating. And I thought at the start of the second period, Barrie controlled the pace of play. Kitchener started getting back into it. And, you know, that's kind of the funny thing about the way the first 2 periods gone, because Kitchener, they came out on top early. Horebic made some great saves. Barrie comes back the other way. They get a goal late in the period. And then the flip in the second period, Kitchener, they came out a bit slow. Kirsch made some great saves, but then Kitchener gets back going, and they get that goal from Gabe Sherrod to tie the game. And so now, obviously going into overtime, you got to be careful. You don't want to play not to lose, because then you're not playing the win and you're not getting opportunities. Barrie, Dylan Smoscott seems to have a calm approach to overtime. He said it in the press conference after Game 5, I believe it was. He was ready to just he's ready to go all night. And so the Barrie Colts, they'll say, hey, we'll go all night with you if you want, but at the end of the day, you got to get your opportunities, and all it takes is one in overtime, and all it's taken is one for the Barrie Colts the last 2 games.
Now the teams have come out on the ice as we get ready for this overtime period, tied at 3. And I don't know how this game's going to end. This game has gone back and forth. Kitchener has had momentum at the start of the game and also at the start of the third period. But this Barrie Colts team, they've been resilient and have found ways to battle back. But we are in for a treat here tonight.
Yeah. It was kind of cool to see coming on the ice there. Kirsch and Horebic bumped into each other, and it was pretty relaxed show. When guys bump into each other, especially in the playoffs, it's usually become fisticuffs, but it was just quick stick tap to each other and move on. Obviously, they got to cross the ice. Long change in overtime, which can set up some interesting opportunities, or it can set up some long shifts.
So it's going to be 5-on-5 overtime between the Colts and the Rangers. Some last-second instructions for both teams. Right now for Barrie, you've got Aitchison out there, no surprise, along with Passmore will be his defense partner. And then up front, Sebeski, Wilmot, and Hemming. Well, the Kitchener Rangers, Sam O'Reilly, he's going to be out there along with Dylan Edwards and Gabe Sherrod. And then on the blue line, you've got Andonovsky and Woolley. So some heavy hitters out there to start this overtime period. Kitchener looking to stay undefeated on home ice in the 2026 playoffs, while the Barrie Colts wanting to get the split on the road before this series shifts to Barrie Sunday night at 6 p.m. So they line up, and we are underway. Face-off won by the Rangers, but Sebeski chases after it. He's going to send this one around deep in the Ranger zone. Hemming can't get a stick on it. Edwards sends it forward, gets the line, not out. Colts keep it in. Hemming takes his time, leaves it for Sebeski. Sebeski to the net on the backhand, but that's batted away. And then Sebeski just went feet first into the boards. He is hurt. Rangers the other way, batted away by Hemming. Sebeski now makes it to the bench. He's in a lot of discomfort. Hemming over to Wilmot. His shot stop, rebound, and Hirsch able to cover it up. But we'll want to keep an eye on Mason Sebeski. He was in a lot of discomfort when he got to the bench.
Yeah, take another look here. Hemming coming up the wing, going back the other way. Nice pass across to Wilmot. The shot stopped by Kirsch. But for Sebeski there, just trying to push through, and a couple of Kitchener players came onto him there, and he got knocked over. Went down pretty hard into the boards.
Well, it looks like he's sitting on the bench just being attended to, so we'll keep an eye on Mason Sebeski. But right now, face-off won by the Colts in the Kitchener zone. Crombie in the far corner, trying to keep it away from Romano. Crombie goes behind the Kitchener net, still with it. Calvin Crombie sends it around. Far side, Eliasson comes off the point. That ends up going in the air. Rangers trying to get it out. Desiderio along the board, sends it around. Puck comes to near point. Von Richter can't get there in time. Von Richter hits the brakes, gives himself some space. Gets to the blue line, he'll send it across. At center is Crombie. Calvin Crombie hits the brakes on the far side, sends it behind the Kitchener net. Gardner after it. Brad Gardner has it in his skates. Side of the goal, Desiderio takes down his man. Fans want a penalty, none coming. Campbell behind his own net, being chased by Desiderio. Gives it up to Reed. Cameron Reed up to Lamb. Lamb cuts to the middle, stays with it. Lamb to the net, takes the shot, stopped by Hrebeck. Gave it right back to Lamb. Lamb has it in that far corner. He'll drop it. Aitchison gets to it first. Jaden Newton behind his own net. He'll send it back to Aitchison. Kayshawn Aitchison, that long pass. Lowe got a stick on it, so no icing. No, they're going to say he didn't touch it. So it's an icing call, and this is going to come back into the Barrie zone.
Now Lowe just lifted his skate there, and it went past him. Figured he'd get a touch on it, but no. He got loose back the other way. Jaden Newton's had to spin back, had some pressure on him, but tried to sneak past the defense there, and long pass from Aitchison doesn't work out.
Rangers get it off the draw, back to the point. Woolley doesn't take the shot. Now he will, and that goes over the net. Puck comes back to the point. Colts get it out. Delayed offside here against Kitchener, so they have to tag up. Kayshawn Aitchison sends this one back to Emerton. Emerton up the wing, Low trying to get a stick on it, taken by the Rangers. Andonovski sends this one forward. Edwards dumps it in. Near side, Kayshawn Aitchison sends it around. Edwards on the far side for Kitchener. Edwards in the corner. Goes around the Barrie net. Puck's knocked away. Reed comes off the point. Cameron Reed behind the Barrie net. Turned it over. Colts get it to the line and out. Arquette plays it, so that's going to be an offside call with 17:30 left here in overtime.
Yeah, it's funny, and every team does it. We saw in Brantford, obviously, in overtime. That icing call, Jake O'Brien knew. He was over the bench, and there for Kitchener, they don't really go to the full-blown top line. O'Reilly and Edwards came back out, but Sherratt joined them, and now Humphrey's going to get an opportunity now with the second line.
Well, good news for Colts fans. Zabeski back on the ice. Puck comes to the point. Reed sends it across. Campbell shot blocked in front. That was Zabeski getting in the lane. He's going to flip this into the Kitchener zone. It's in the corner. Reed gets it a stick on it. Up to Humphreys. Humphreys gives this one up to Romano. Over to Humphreys. Humphreys across. Arquette shot wide of the net. Wrap around. What a save by Hrebeck. Puck's still loose. They're jamming at it. Back to the point. Rangers with it. They pass it. Shot blocked by Wilmot. Puck comes to the point. Rangers keep it in. Kitchener still with the pressure. Puck's in that far corner. Back to the blue line. Campbell to Reed. Cameron Reed rides that blue line. Poked away by Wilmot, and that's going to escape the zone. Kitchener came so close to winning it in overtime. They still have it. That's batted away. 2-on-1 for Barrie. Calvin Crombie's got Wilmot. Trying to outweight. What a stick work there by Campbell. Campbell gets this one out to center ice. Ellis enters the zone across to Lamb. Lamb waits. He holds. Still with it. Now goes to the point. One-timer. Andonovski stopped by Hrebeck. What a pad save there by the Colts netminder at the blue line, kept in. Woolley towards the net. Shot stopped by Hrebeck. Woolley tied up by Zabeski. Battle in the near corner in the Barrie zone. Rangers trying to move it. Woolley gave it up to Eliasson. He's going to skate it to the far corner. Eliasson up the wing. Wilmot gets to center ice. Wilmot knocks it back to the Kitchener blue line. He needs to go off for a change. Lamb into the attacking zone, and his shot's blocked by Eliasson. Another chance, stop, rebound, and Hrebeck able to cover it up, and then Eliasson just took down a Ranger player. And that was Andonovski. We're not going to get any penalties out of that, but a couple of huge saves by Ben Hrebeck.
Yeah, Kitchener, great opportunity in the middle there. That just misses. Then the wraparound stopped by Hrebeck, and everyone jams away at it. Somehow it comes loose, and on that 2-on-1, I think Crombie thought he'd have a bit more time, but Campbell just completely took him. Knocked him out of the play, and then Kitchener came back the other way. A couple of good chances. Wilmot and Zabeski were dead tired out there, and Barrie was desperate to get them off the ice. They eventually do. And now off the offensive zone draw, the O'Reilly line will get out there, and big reset, though, there for the Colts.
Face-off won by the Rangers, comes back to the point, picked up by Edwards. His shot stopped by Hrebeck. O'Reilly was parked in front, tried to get a stick on it. But we'll get another face-off.
That big glove save there by Hrebeck. That puck comes loose. O'Reilly's there for a knock-in.
Face-off to the right of Hrebeck. Face-off won by Gardner. Aitchison's going to hammer this one around the boards. Desiderio gets it in the neutral zone. Desiderio skates into the linesman. That's going to be taken by the Rangers. They're going to skate it up 4-on-2. That pass off target, and that's going to be dumped in by Sherratt. Aitchison sends this one around. Schneid on the far side. That's going to escape the zone. Desiderio on the wing, carries it in, takes the shot. Kirsch guides it to the corner. Desiderio, first one on it. He's taken into the boards. Aitchison from the half board, sends it ahead. Gardner puts to the corner. Desiderio drops it behind the net. Schneid trying to catch up to it. That's out of his reach. Edwards has it along the boards, trying to kick it. Schneid's there, and the Rangers collect it. Campbell sends this one forward, doesn't connect, and now it's an icing call against Kitchener.
Well, just like we just talked about, Wilmot, Hemming, Zabeski coming right over the boards. Eamon Edgar was finally getting back out there. He got 2 seconds out on the ice, and he's back on the bench.
At least he got to touch the ice.
I saw him come out. I'm like, oh, Edgar's back. And then
icing, and
he's off.
Nope.
All right, Evan, come back. You're done. Thank you.
Face-off won by the Colts. Zabeski, though, can't hold it. Sherratt's going to skate it out for the Rangers. Gabe Sherratt on his backhand, turned aside by Emerton. Aitchison trying to send it around. Edwards is there. Sherratt can't get a stick on it behind the net. Colts pick it up. Cole Emerton deep in his own zone. Rangers complete a line change. Puck's at center. Carrying it in is Hemming. Hemming hits the brakes, passes it across, goes behind Zabeski. Zabeski gets it in the corner. Trying to settle it down. Puck was bouncing. Wilmot's there to help out. Sends it back to the point. Emerton takes the shot. Turned aside by Kirsch. Zabeski collects it, trying to put it in front behind the net. Far side Hemming. Aitchison, one-timer stop. Rebound. It's still loose. Zabeski's tied up. Puck goes to the corner. Rangers recover. Arquette, he'll get this one out and down the ice, but that's going to be another icing call against Kitchener as the Colts came so close. Kirsch with a huge stop. And right now, Mason Zabeski, he is hunched over, and I would not be surprised if he's in a lot of discomfort right now.
Well, I think Mason Zabeski also realizes that there's already 2 Colts from the top 6 out of the lineup, so if he can go, he's going to keep going. And that top line had some good opportunities there. Aitchison slamming on his stick. You knew as Hemming came around the boards, he was going to send it out there. And created a rebound. Good opportunity there for Barrie, but Zabeski got tied up. Couldn't get the shot off.
So 6 minutes has gone in the overtime period. Kitchener is going to skate it out. It's Cameron Reed. Reed into the attacking zone. Takes the shot. That's going to go wide. Humphreys keeps it at the blue line. Sends it around the boards. Near side Arquette. Arquette loses it. Schneid gets it out to center ice. Reed sends this one across. Campbell, he'll dump it in. Ends up behind the Barrie net. Von Richter after it. Von Richter ahead for Jaden Newton. Newton gets to his own blue line. Backhand pass. Colts send it in. Schneid to the net. Stop by Kirsch. Puck's loose. Not able to get there in time. Was low. Rangers are able to pick it up. Woolley passes this one out to center. Carries this one in. That's Lamb. Drops it back. Far side. Stopped by Hrebeck. That was Ellis with the chance. Colts get it again. It's Calvin Crombie. Loses the handle of it. Able to bail him out is Von Richter. Von Richter in his own zone. Goes back to Eliasson. Fans wanted a penalty as Crombie was mixing it up with one of the Rangers. Eliasson back behind his own net. He'll set up Passmore up the wing. That doesn't connect, so now it's an icing call against the Colts. So a big face-off coming back into the Barrie end.
A missed opportunity there on that clear by Barrie. Nice play by Kitchener here. Puck moves to the middle. Beautiful backhanded pass across to Ellis. But a great save by Ben Hrebeck. And a lot of talk about face-offs. How critical are they to win? A big face-off win by Kitchener there. Off of the icing to win that draw. A lot of tired bodies out there. They're able to win the draw, bring it up the ice, and get the changes they needed.
12:48 left to go in overtime. Face-off now to the left of Hrebeck. Shots 48-31 in favor of the Rangers. Gardner steps in to take the draw. Kitchener wins the face-off. Quick shot, stopped by Hrebeck. As firing that one was Dylan Edwards, and now the net comes off as Eliasson was mixing it up with O'Reilly. But it looks like nothing more will come of that, and we'll get another face-off.
Now Eliasson just gives him a subtle push, and O'Reilly goes into the net. The two of them exchange words, and it's right back to the top line for the Barrie Colts. Aitchison out there as well with Passmore.
I'm sure there's a lot of fans right now that must be stressed out. Every time I catch the chat in my corner of my eye, it keeps moving. Face-off won by the Colts. Can't get out of the zone, however. O'Reilly down low for the Rangers, has it in the corner. Wilmot picks it up for Barrie, sends this one around. Rangers pick it up again with possession, goes back to the point. Adanovsky settles it down, stays with it. He's going to put it behind the net. That's deflected, stays in the corner. O'Reilly can't keep it. Far side, Sherratt. Sherratt down behind the net is O'Reilly, trying to wrap around in front. Getting a paddle on it was Hrebeck. Colts can't get it out. Puck stays deep. There's the shot. That's blocked. Ends up back in the corner. Dylan Edwards with possession for Kitchener. Back to the line. Reed lost it in his skates for a moment. Colts trying to get it out, and they will. Aitchison out to the neutral zone. Aitchison tied up there by Romano. Colts with it. Or Rangers, rather. Adanovsky up the wing. It's at center, near side. Reed fires, blocked by Von Richter. Puck goes to the corner. Rangers get it again. Puck sent around by Romano. Puck's behind the Barrie net. Here's Humphreys. Humphreys takes the shot, blocked by Newton, and the Colts flip it out to center ice. Taken down there by Campbell. Campbell along the boards. There's Arquette. Stop, rebound, kicked aside by Hrebeck. Rangers just keep getting chance after chance. Colts get it out, deflected by Hemming, so no icing. Kitchener has hit the 50 shot mark. 50-31 are the shots now. 11-11 left in overtime. Woolley skates this one in for Kitchener. He'll flip it to the far corner. First one on it is Aitchison. Aitchison passing it over to Emerton. Back to Aitchison behind his own net. Sets up Carter Lowe at the far side. Gets it out to center. Crombie, or Newton rather, trying to play it in. Jaden Newton takes the shot. Kirsch guides that to the corner. Adanovsky, first one on it. Aitchison winds up, fires, and that goes wide of the net. That's going to sail all the way back to the neutral zone, collected by Emerton. Aitchison on the far side, chips it off the boards. Adanovsky's there. Puck's bouncing back to the Barrie blue line. Aitchison to Gardner. Gardner's pass is knocked down. Rangers trying to move it in. O'Reilly, he loses it. Aitchison can't get it out. Kept in by Alanis, now knocked out by Barrie. Gardner dumps this one in. Kirsch stays in his net. Puck comes around. Reed's there. Turns it over to Desiderio. Desiderio trying to hold it along the boards. Gardner's there trying to help dig it free. Battle continues. Puck's loose. As it's an old-fashioned rugby scrum along the far boards. Desiderio still in the middle of it. Puck's now moved out. Rangers get it to the Barrie blue line and no further. Von Richter over to Passmore. Passmore trying to dump it in. His stick snapped on him. Kirsch out of his net. He'll leave it there for his defense. Desiderio blew a tire as he's trying to chase Reed. Reed passes it ahead. Rangers trying to carry it in. That's knocked away. Romano chasing after it behind the Barrie net. Von Richter there for the Colts. Passes this one ahead. That's going to escape the zone, but losing the handle of it was Ben Wilmot. Puck goes back into the Barrie end. Von Richter sends this one around. At the blue line, there's the shot blocked. At the point again, picked up by Campbell. Campbell settles it down for the Rangers. To the net, it's still loose. Colts diving for it. It goes in the air, and Hrebeck casually gets the glove underneath. But my, oh my, some tense moments.
Hrebeck looked like a baseball player there. I got it.
I got it. It was a foul ball, and he just casually grabbed it.
He got up in the air there with a big catch. So chance at the point. Sent in on net. Hrebeck makes the save. Rebounds up in the air. Luckily for Barrie there, it's Romano. So he's on his backhand. He can't just slap it in the net. Puck goes up in the air. Glove saved by Hrebeck, and then Eliasson and Sherratt go at it as well. And what an overtime we've had so far. Both sides with some good opportunities, but we remain out here.
With the way this is going, I thought there was a few times that this was going to end, but Hrebeck, he's had to make some huge stops, and same thing with Kirsch, as these two goaltenders have been fantastic. But my, oh my, this has been a close game. Shots now 51-32 in favor of the Kitchener Rangers. This faceoff's going to come back into the Barrie zone with 9:13 left in the overtime period. So we'll get a faceoff here in just a moment as they're wrapping up the overtime TV timeout. Sam O'Reilly's going to take the draw for Kitchener up against Ben Wilmot for the Colts. Face-off won by Kitchener. Andonovski has it to the net. That's blocked. It's loose in front. Hrebeck can't cover it. It's just sitting there. Backhand stopped by Hrebeck. Rangers move it around. And on the near side, that's Reed. Reed, he's taken into the boards by Hemming. They're trying to move it. That's sent around. Far side. After it is Sherratt. Sherratt at the point for the Rangers. Takes the shot. Stopped by Hrebeck. Loose puck picked up by the Colts. Zabeski skates it out for Barrie, sends this one forward. Wilmot chasing after it. Rangers collect it. They're going to take it around their own net. Romano picks it up. He'll skate it in. Goes to Edwards, and he fires that one wide. Hemming trying to get a stick on it. Romano in the corner, sends it around. Aitchison gets this one out to center. Hemming's in the neutral zone trying to collect it. Hemming flips this one in the zone, delayed offside against Barrie. This will give Kitchener some time. Woolley up ahead. Reed, or make that. Romano dumped it in. Colts trying to get it out. Schneid with possession. William Schneid gets to the neutral zone. Schneid carrying it in, still with it. Schneid keeps it away from Campbell, hits the brakes. Back to the line, Von Richter, but that bounces on him and will escape the zone. Von Richter sends this one back to the Kitchener zone. Rangers get it out. Romano dumps that one in, ends up back behind the Barrie net. Gabriel Eliasson will find it. Chipped out by Von Richter. Colts with it. That's tipped into the zone by Schneid. Schneid's going to chase after it. Reed gets a stick on it first. Andonovski gives chase, trying to keep it away from Newton. That'll escape the zone, out to the neutral zone, and Emerton dumps it in. Rangers back to pick it up. It's Cameron Reed. The pace kind of slowing down a bit here from that electric start that we had in overtime. Overtime period now down to 7:10. Rangers move it up on the wing. That's Lamb. He falls. Gets the puck deep, however. Pass more around. Crombie gets a stick on it. Tied up there by Andonovski. Colts trying to recover. Emerton in the corner. Cole Emerton in a battle there. Sends it ahead for Crombie, and Crombie's going to skate it out. Calvin Crombie flips this one into the zone. Gardner gives chase. Campbell, first one on it. Sends this one up to Woolley. Woolley's pass goes off Desiderio. Puck's loose at center. Edwards moves that one ahead. Lamb on the far wing. Takes the shot. Stop. Rebound. Woolley stopped by Hrebeck. Puck's in the corner. Rangers still with it. Woolley behind the Barrie net. Goes back to the point. Near side. Sherratt settles it. Fires. And that goes into the glove of Hrebeck. And he'll hold on.
Couple good opportunities there. And couple big saves again by Ben Hrebeck. Lamb coming up the wing just puts it on net, and then the puck came loose to Woolley, but he couldn't get it cleanly. Hrebeck makes the save, and then another opportunity. But Hrebeck just able to make that glove save. Get a reset here with 6:21 to go.
So face-off to the right of Hrebeck as they get set for this face-off. Schneid in the middle of it. It's underneath Schneid. Edwards. He's taken to the boards by Eliasson. Sherratt, backhand pass. Andonovski at the point. Keeps this one in. Takes the shot. Blocked by Wilmot. And that's going to go out of play as Kitchener creeping up on that 60 shot mark. It's now 57-32.
Yeah, great shot block there by Ben Wilmot. Just gets down on a knee, gets in front of it. Face off to reset. Zabeski will come back out for Schneid, but William Schneid, a great effort again tonight. Tried that end-to-end rush there. I thought he was going to do it all himself.
He's had a great series so far, William Schneid. Right now tied at 3 here in overtime. 6 minutes left to go in the overtime period. Rangers have it in front of their own net. That's Reed. Made a nice move to get away from Wilmot. Reed has that poked away. Wilmot lost the handle of it, but Eliasson's going to send it around. Aitchison up the wing. Hemming got a stick on it. Andonovski finds it now for the Rangers. Matthew Andonovski back behind his own net. Takes his time. As the Rangers right now completing a line change, Andonovski will now move it up. Andonovski ahead for Reed. Reed dumps this one in, got too much under it, as that actually goes into the netting and out of play.
Nothing says we're shortening the bench like how tight Teague Vader, Eamon Edgert, Jonah McCormick are with Irvin Jaswell right now.
Well, they're just all there helping with the door.
Yeah, they were like tight, and then I think Vader got a bit too close for Jaswell's liking, so he's going to sit in the back now.
Well, Zabeski just got on the bench, and he's hobbling. What a warrior he's been in this game. That's going to go down the ice. Icing now against the Colts. 5:17 left in this overtime period. This is where the legs, they're going to be burning for both these teams. The top lines, they've been getting a lot of minutes here tonight.
Well, we just talked about, obviously, Zabeski clearly not 100%, and then for Barrie as well. It's been non-stop, go, go, go the last couple of weeks. Kitchener had some time off before this finals, and you wonder if it catches up to Barrie at any point.
Schneid puts it to the net. Kirsch leaves it there for Campbell. Rangers will move it up. Campbell up the wing, but that's offside. As getting ahead of the play there was Gabe Sherratt. Got a little excited, as if he would have been onside, he would have had a lane to the net.
Yeah, it would have been close, but obviously with that pass being all the way back the other way, it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Barrie, and Jones Moscow's going to get Gardner, Crombie, and Desiderio out there. Aitchison and Passmore.
Well, it's been interesting to see how much ice time Nicholas Desiderio's been getting tonight, especially here in the overtime period. He's had a pretty good game, too.
He's been solid tonight.
Face off to the right of Kirsch. Gardner steps in to take the draw against Sam O'Reilly. Well, Gardner's now going to be tossed out. He doesn't agree. So Crombie will take his spot. Kayshawn Aitchison right now directing some traffic. He's going to trade places with Passmore. Face off won by the Rangers. Desiderio gives chase behind the Kitchener net. Rangers with it. That's going to be sent forward. Skating it out is O'Reilly. O'Reilly gives that one up. Sherratt fires. Blocked by Passmore. Sherratt's stick, it broke on that shot attempt. Rangers still with it. Back behind the net. That's Reed. Reed in a battle with Passmore trying to kick it. Crombie's there. Puck's bouncing around. Colts trying to get a stick on it. Kept in there by O'Reilly. Puck hits that broken stick, and the Colts get it out. Desiderio at center trying to protect that puck in a battle with Reed. Continue to battle there, and the Rangers get it back into the Barrie end. Humphreys gives chase. Colts, however, have possession. Passmore trying to flip it out. That was blocked in front. Here's Humphreys. His shot stopped by Hrebeck. Humphreys in front, ends up at the point. There's the shot from Campbell, and it's blocked. Crombie back to Campbell at the blue line. Carson Campbell already a goal tonight. Takes it around the Barrie net. Desiderio reaching. Fans want a penalty, but play continues. Aitchison along the boards. Puck's loose, ends up in the near corner. Rangers get to it. Arquette trying the wraparound. That's blocked. Colts skated ahead. Kayshawn Aitchison reaches center, and he's going to dump it in. Puck goes behind the Kitchener net. Woolley's there to play it. Campbell gets this one out to center. Rangers move it in. Romano takes the shot, blocked by Von Richter. Ben Wilmot with possession. That's center. Nice little move. Passes it over to Hemming. Hemming passes it over to Von Richter up the middle. Von Richter can't get the shot to go. Puck kept in at the point, though, by Eliasson. That's going to be sent around. Zabeski after it. Takes the hit from Humphreys. Zabeski trying to force his way into the corner. Rangers are there. Wilmot blocks the clearing attempt. Wilmot knocks it ahead. Hemming. Nice move, but he's hauled down as he was trying to make that move. Play continues. Zabeski in the corner, battling with Woolley. Mason Zabeski stays with it. Fans on the pass attempt, trying to go back to the blue line. Zabeski, this effort trying to keep it in the zone. Now it's knocked out to center. Arquette skates it in for the Rangers, passes it over. Diving was Wilmot. Took that chance away from Ellis. Von Richter back behind his own net to set things up. 2:40 left in overtime. Von Richter, his attempt knocked down. Schneid over to Lowe, sends it deep into the Rangers zone. Around the boards it goes. Andonovski ahead, blocked by Schneid, sends it to the net. That's blocked by Reed. Cameron Reed back behind his own net. Some tired legs out there for both teams. Rangers force it down the ice. Aitchison back to play it for the Colts. Carter Lowe trying to play it in a battle there with Lamb. Newton can't get to it. Lowe blocked the pass attempt. They continue to battle. Helena sends it back to the line. Reed over, one-timer shot, scores! Matthew Andonovski. And that will do it. The Kitchener Rangers win in overtime and now have a 2-0 series lead.
What a shot from Matthew Andonovski. On the point, Kitchener, one shot shy of 60, finds the back of the net. And a big win here from Kitchener to defend home ice. A perfect 10-0 at the odds so far this postseason. And they're heading to Barrie with a 2-0 series lead.
What a game tonight. You have to give credit, though, to the Barrie Colts. They've put on a show. Now Hrebeck being surrounded by Ranger players at center ice. This is going to generate a crowd. Hrebeck trying to have words there with Kirsch. So a big meeting at center. The fans are booing. Rangers are trying to shoo the Colts off the ice. Not what you want to see here. Now the coaching staff, Smoskowitz is trying to get everybody off the ice. Not what you want to see at the end. Even Humphreys now having words for the Colts as they skate off. But my, oh my, the emotions, they are high.
Well, we talked about how this hadn't really been a rivalry yet, but certainly a rivalry now with the way this game wrapped up, and great finish to the game. Obviously, Barrie, you know, they kind of felt like they were running out of gas there, and great game by the Rangers tonight, 59 shots, and they're going to walk away with a 2-0 series lead. And you know, heading up to Barrie, obviously Barrie, they can't panic, but at the same time, you know, this is a tough one.
I liked Richard, cup of tea after that and then bed. That's a good way to calm down after that. Hopefully your heart rate is doing okay, because that was an exciting finish. Give credit to the Barrie Colts. Heavily outshot, 59-33. Ben Hrebeck, he was sensational once again in net, but just that one break, and Andonovski fires it from the point. That is his third of the playoffs, and that's the difference here from the odd.
Yeah, nice one-timer, and he's able to get it over top. We were only 2 minutes away from double overtime. Looked like a great opportunity for Barrie to even the series up at one apiece, but I mean, this Kitchener Rangers team, they're really good, and like we talked about, there's a lot of different guys that can be the best player out on the ice, and here tonight, Matthew Andonovski with a big goal. You know, you get that goal from Carson Campbell, 2 goals tonight from the defense for the Kitchener Rangers, coming off a game with 2 goals from their defense. So the back end stepping up for the Rangers as well, and another great effort from them tonight.
And more importantly now, Kitchener up 2-0 in this best-of-7 series. So the pressure is all on the Barrie Colts Sunday night. It's a 6 o'clock puck drop, so mark that down if you've got tickets for the game. But now the Colts, the pressure's on them. They have to win game number 3, or else this Rangers team, they'll be in the driver's seat to win the J. Ross Robertson Cup.
Yeah, it's not a time to panic because you're heading home to home ice, but at the same time, obviously, you gotta have that awareness that you need to go out and win the game. And for Barrie, I mean, they get outshot 20-7 in that overtime period. Another great period from Ben Hrebeck, who he was stopping everything he could see, but in the end, just one extra goal for the Kitchener Rangers there to get the job done. And for the Colts, like you mentioned, they're going to have to reset. They're going to have to win the day tomorrow at practice, and then coming home for a big home date. But if they can get that win, you're right back in it.
There's going to be some tired players going into tomorrow, so hopefully they're able to get a rest. But our 3 stars are presented by Craighurst Crossing by Georgian Communities, New Homes, minutes from North Barrie, where inspired living meets small town charm. Your 3rd star of the night, Ben Horebic, makes 55 saves, 59 shots in total. Horebic, he gave Barrie a chance here and deserves a star.
Yeah, one effort from Ben Horebic. He's doing all he could. I mean, we talked about how he needed to steal a couple games here for Barrie, and he nearly did it here tonight.
Your 2nd star of the game from the Kitchener Rangers, Cameron Reid, 2 assists here tonight. He was all over the ice. That's something you expect with Cameron Reid. Just his ability to skate the puck out of his own zone and gets that 2nd star.
Yeah, great effort from him tonight. He gets that primary assist on the game winner as well from Andonovski, and really special talent there and a really good player, and he's once again proved it tonight.
And not a surprise, Matthew Andonovski, the 1st star of the game, he scored the overtime winner. So Andonovski, that bullet from the point, was able to solve Ben Horebic, and the series is now 2-0 Kitchener.
Yeah, it's a big to defend home ice. Obviously, for Barrie, you can't panic, but at the same time for Kitchener, you've got control of this series right now, and it's going to be pedal to the metal on Sunday, a chance to take full control.
Now I see Richard asking if we know we're broadcasting the game on Sunday. At this point, still waiting for confirmation because of the logistics at the Saddlein Arena. The press box, it's not that big. So they're trying to still figure out where exactly they can put us, because they do have the TSN broadcast, so they have to set up their equipment. So they're trying to figure out how we fit into the puzzle. But stay tuned. I'll do my short on Sunday, and I'll let you know pregame there if we're doing the broadcast. If it is broadcast here on the channel, it's a 6 p.m. puck drop, so live stream will be up and running at 5:45.
Yeah, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because then you get notifications if it goes live. So
exactly.
Subscribe.
Yeah, so we want to do the game. We're just waiting for the Barrie Colts to give us confirmation that we will have a spot in the arena. So that's what it comes down to. It's just where, if we do the broadcast, where exactly we'll be able to do it, because TSN, their crew is taking over our spot.
Yeah, we can't go there.
Because Rogers TV isn't doing the game, so we lost our spot. That's what it comes down to.
We could still have that spot. What if we just show up first?
First come, first serve. So anyways, it is a final score, 4-3 in overtime, as the Barrie Colts, they put in a solid effort here tonight, but just fall short. And right now, in a must-win territory, Sunday night back at the Saddlein Arena. So that'll do it for us here at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. For Josh McCann and Gene Pereira, I'm Mike Poirier, and thank you very much, everyone who took part in the broadcast. We will talk to you again soon.